Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to the EU HCS Open qualifiers this weekend on a Sunday. This is the qualifying spots, top 8 going through to the Pro Series on Wednesday. I'm Joe Sketch, and I'm joined here by a Call of Duty caster coming across to Halo, Enigma. And Enigma, I know that you've been watching Halo. You said you was playing quite a lot of it. What sort of differences can you see in the Call of Duty to the Halo side? What are you looking for when we're watching these games today?
Well, quite a lot of things when it comes to the general overall reception. Everyone at the minute very, very happy with the way Halo Infinite is going, I feel. But when it comes to the games themselves, there is a monumental difference when it comes to the pacing of them in particular. Now, if any of you have watched Vanguard, it is breakneck. It is 1000% move as fast as you can. Dr. Disrespect clip, insert it here. Whereas when it comes to Halo, there's a lot more chess and checkers, a lot more trying to outsmart your opponent, play for map control, power positions, and obviously power weapons. So I'm really looking forward to getting to break that kind of stuff down and seeing what players here show how to dominate their opponents.
Yeah, I couldn't put it better myself, Enigma. We are already through quite deep into the tournament now. We're going to be jumping on board with a round 5 game. We've got SUUS versus WeKnowTheSecret. Let's break down the teams for you. These guys you probably would have seen from the last Pro Series. SUUS made it all the way through to top 16. Their French roster, Sunrise, Cinder, Uman, and Unwise making up their squad. I mean, there's a bit more of a veterancy with WeKnowTheSecret. These players have been playing throughout Halo 5, maybe some earlier games as well. That's Vexus, Creep Easy, Snipe All, and Zur. And Snipe All Enigma, he went across the rally. He played on a team called the Boys. He was with some old sort of veterans players in the scene like Septic. But he didn't do too well. And now he finds himself on a new team, maybe a bit of, bit fresher mentality. I don't know how well he was, how serious he was taking the game beforehand, but now he's got this new team around him. What sort of things can a new team sort of bring to a player who might be, coming off a bad loss or coming off of another team drop?
Well, I mean, there's one thing, all of us who have played at any sort of competitive level, or even just amongst those high-level ranked lobbies, you understand that chemistry is a thing. Mindset, mentality is important. And if things weren't going too well, it can stem into a toxic environment. It can make things very difficult for you to go out and play your best. And some people do just fit in better with other people. They're all roles that exist in games. Are you going to be a person that you were kind of suppressed over on this team? Do you move over and free up your gameplay? Let's find out. Do you instead become a bit more of a glue player, a bit of a shot caller, a leader? You've gone over and gotten that experience at Rally. So does that then benefit the boys around you here? And I mean, we know how it is, right? Boys move up, boys move down. There will be people coming through, and this is an opportunity to perhaps get yourself in amongst a couple that are doing just that.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk through the games for Enigma here. It's a best of 3 here in the winners round 5. We're starting things off with Live Fire Strongholds, going on to Aquarius Slayer, and if we need... it's a best of 5, I've just been told by the producer already. But we're going to start off with Live Fire Strongholds first, Enigma. What are we really looking for on the side of these teams? What sort of power weapons are there to play? What utility do they have on the map?
Well, when it comes to live fire, the main thing here for me, actually, not necessarily going specifically down to the weapons and utility available, is looking at the dynamic rotations of this side in terms of controlling them. Because if you manage to get a couple in your pocket, maybe give up a flag for a second or two, you're only a hop, skip, and a jump away, really, from the next one, especially if you manage to get a hold of, like, for example, a grapple, the camo, so on, so on. If you are able to, I don't know, maybe you play back, you think, okay, I'll get a hold of the sword, so on, and just execute a play based on that, you can easily steamroll this. So what I want to see, instead of teams maybe picking specific weapons and such on the map, I just want to see them then take advantage of those situations and try and just essentially collapse on an opposing team.
Yeah, and that translates across to every single map and game mode we have, as well as Enigma. But fundamentals of Halo and any sort of esports really is that buddy system, not just working as a 4 in a team, also working as maybe just 2 players on a map, utilising in different areas as well, making sure that you're pinching with your teams and Gomez or collapses. We have got a confirmation though that it's actually Aquarius CTF is our first game, and then we've got Street Slayer. Live Fire Oddball, Recharge Strongholds, and Bizarre Slayer. That's how our lineup is going to be looking today. This is going to be a best of 5 here between these two teams. I'm excited to see what potential both these squads have. We talked a bit about them already now. Top 16 from SUUS, they've kept their roster the same. And then Za and Sniper have came across to join VeXus and WeKnowTheSecret. All of these players are very, very strong players. They've competed at their prime, at their peak, at near like a top 4, top 6 level. We've seen VeXus in the Pro League before, in Halo 5, back on this Prophecy roster. We've seen Zer play of Pacemaking Pandas and make it through and land to top 4 as well. So these are very solid players. Sniper's got that experience of HCS Rally, and when he played against the North American teams, even if you're not winning, even if you're not doing well in the games, there's a lot you can take away from as well, Enigma. So I'm really looking forward to how this is going to go. I know it's always like a caster thing to sit on the fence. So because it's the first game, we're going into the first map of our series as well. I'm going to just jump out and say, right, WeKnowTheSecret. That's what I'm going to take. I'm going to think they're going to take this one first. Aquarius CTF. It's a lot like a lot of the older CTF maps, like Onslaught from Halo 3. You might even match it sort of similarly to Fathom as well, due to the fact of the lanes and the top middle. But I think that because of that older sort of style, which WeKnowTheSecret have, I think they're going to win this one, Enigma.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, look, we had a bit of a chin wag before we got on camera, right? And I was saying, you know, you're going to dominate me when it comes to the player histories and so on, and the past generational comparisons. So, I mean, it's difficult to argue against you. However, on my paper here, on the notes I've been taking and looking through things, SUUS obviously qualified through Open 3 last time out. And it's hard to put past them, and it's hard to, for me at the minute, to look beyond that size. And that's where I am going to sit on this side of the fence. But that being said, you brought up a lot of great points there about this WeKnowTheSecret side. So, I mean, if anything, if we get a very good game, that's all we can really ask for.
Yep, absolutely. We're going to be loading into our CTF Aquarius anytime now. As we said, we've already given our keys to victory here for both squads. Control of the map, making sure you're working as your team. All of these guys are playing the top side of their gameplay as well. We're already through to winners round 5. These guys know what they're doing. They know how to control the map. Let's just see it get utilised into this one as we kick things off with Creep Easy for the side of WeKnowTheSecret. Doesn't get any sort of map control this side, just get a few slays. So far, it's starting a bit shaky for both squads.
Has indeed, but the aggression here, and Zer will shut it down, shuts down one on his right, fully aware that there could be a pinch coming in from his left, and just buying time here, allowing his teammates to try and get back in. Does a great job, nothing needed, there's nothing spectacular, just calm it down and reset the game. But there's one right here already. Melee will come on through and backing off, and I don't mind this. Sit down and just try and reset at times. You don't want an early flag loss.
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, Zer playing that position there. He was making sure that he was almost an anchor for his team. No one's going to sneak behind them. They're going to kill the players their side of the map. Then they're going to push up as a squad. So really, that was a really good play. And we're now seeing Zer utilise this. And he's already all the way across the map. And it's almost like a role reverse here. The pressure's now on the side of WeKnowTheSecret. SUUS have got to defend. But just like that, they do so as well. We still see Creep Easy in the base. But both sides are going back and forth. It's almost a bit of a sporadic pushes. No one seems to be linking together as a team so far. It's all sort of individual plays right now, Enigma. As we see both sort of sides trying to get a foothold in this game.
Yeah, I think you called it spot on there. That's the one thing immediately that I'm seeing here. You know, it's my first time casting Halo. Might be a little bit nervous, but you could put the same thing on these boys. Why are they all over the show? Get together, get your boys around you. You spoke about it before, buddy systems. Get them together and try and pull a flag with some sort of backup around you. And as we slow things down for just a second here, Vex currently not on a kill and looking for his first. He's around the corner. Do anything about it. He gets the melee off and gets an assist. So a bit of presence here for WeKnowTheSecret up this left-hand side. But again, a bit too aggressive, a bit too just slow it down, get your boys with you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost that extra half a second wait is all they need to formulate a team push. I'm not too sure where Camo went. If we can see if we can find Camo somewhere. It was up just for a second. I don't know if it's been grabbed. There we go. Sniper's going to be the person grabbing that camouflage. So really, it's the off the back of Sniper. They still have top mid control. They need to get a couple of slays here, utilise their position, but we don't need Sniper to fall down and get back to their camo. That's an unfortunate death for him. So all the utility off the map. We're now back to BRs. And so far, it looks like SUUS is starting to mount a bit bit of a map control themselves as well. They managed to get this top mid. They've managed to get one player towards this utility fridge side of map even, and Cinder's almost being Overwatch. He knows the players are spawning right now. He's getting a team shot. He's got that double kill, which is really nice. He knows, so there might be a few more players left in base. But this is what we see when we go into Aquarius CTF. This is the preferred route for most players here. There's a nice shot at the end by Sniper, but utility through to Hydro is the run where you've got the most protection.
It is 100%. You're right about that, but also it's not going to matter because Snipeball's going to deal with it and return that flag in. So preferred route, but not the preferred outcome. And here we go again. Now can we see WeKnowTheSecret maybe spin this and get something going themselves? The first kill will come on through. It will be instantly traded, though. In these situations, you need to be getting a bit more than that. And Unwise will fall in his base, but how much map presence did they manage to get? There was a pull for just a second here, and I hadn't actually spotted that. Creepeasy will be in possession of it, taking, again, this preferred side route, as you said, but there are bullets in the back. He's got to dip out, and that is a big touch right there. Teammate will cover and just looking to regain his shields before he goes to this final push.
What I'm seeing as well there, Enigma, is that Zerg got 2 massive kills during that flag grab. It does go in the end, so it's going to be 1-0 up to WeKnowTheSecret. Zerg pushed with Creepeasy into the base. He got 2 big slays on players, which are going to kill Creepeasy when he was running that flag. When that flag was down, it'd be a lot harder to maneuver it across the map. Creepeasy managed to play his life. He had his protection from his teammates. That's how you cap a flag at the start of the game. That's 1-0. So far, we're looking now towards this camo once more. Sniper's electing to leave it. He's going to play with his team, Vex and Creepeasy. Maybe Zeus called him out and said, I'm in position right now. But right now, I'm not too sure what's going on the side of Zeus.
Yeah, looks like we have had a disconnect, unfortunately. And yeah, you can see there for just a second, someone stopped. So we will be pulling that back in. But yeah, very frantic start for that one. Very much so. As you said, there was the moments where people are just trying to make their own individual plays. Nothing really too much off the back of that. We get a pull, it stopped. We get a counter pull, comes on through just there at the end. But we will find out exactly what the rules are going from there. You may know more than me, but I'm not 100% certain how we handle disconnects over here in Halo.
So WeKnowTheSecret were 1-0 up in that game. They had the flag grab, so they're going to need 4. Wow. SUUS were 1-0. WeKnowTheSecret were 1-0 up in that game, so they only need 4 to win in this situation. So even though it would be going up to 5, they only need, as soon as that 4 flag cap is in, they will win the game. Also, to pay attention, even if they have 0 on that scoreline, they will have that 1 flag cap. So if it ends 0-0, we don't have to go to overtime. We know that WeKnowTheSecret have won that game. Realistically now, they've gotten comfortable. Enigma, both these two teams, they've had a bit of a shaky start, let's say. They didn't necessarily get map control. Sometimes it can be like that in Halo at the start. You know, you sort of settle into the game. Now we're going to go again, and this time I want to see some sort of starting strategies. We saw it yesterday. I was casting the Europa Halo Kickoff Cup, and Mister, for his team, Kitty Crew, just ran and grabbed camo straight away. On this side of the map is a bit more of a heated battle. A lot of players trying to do individual gunfights, but I want to see someone grab camo, utilize it near the start of that game, and almost, if you're WeKnowTheSecret, push your advantage. If you're SUUS, get that early flag cap off the back of camo, just so you can get back in the game.
Yeah, 100%. You're right. It's interesting to see how the different sides approach it. Do they go for that immediate camo, or do they decide to play a bit more passively, maybe get some kills and then utilize the extra map presence from it? But it was, I don't know, one of those. Yeah, we didn't see so much being utilized there, and we didn't see. It was a tough one to really call. I was looking for something there where it's like, okay, a bit of advantage here that they've managed to assemble, and it was just sporadic gunfights. But that being said, both teams got to test the waters a little bit there and feel each other out. Do we now see these two sides come out and maybe give each other a little bit more respect, or does this again become completely frantic gameplay? As I said before, SUUS will start this one 1-0 up. We are off and away.
Yeah, and we're going to jump on board with SUUS as well as Uman as well. Just as he's getting towards this P side of the map, they are trying to push towards camo. Bit of a team they come through, but look at the kill feed right now. That is going to be all on the side of WeKnowTheSecret. SUUS have fallen all of the same hurdle as well. That should be camo converted to the side of WeKnowTheSecret as well. They should be able to grab this one off the back at the start of this game when it loads up. They know exactly where they're spawning. Sniper's already picked out 2 players towards this fridge side of the map. They are trapped right now, and Zert is hunting them down, gets a beat down onto one of them, does get cleaned up in the end, but running the side of a flag side of this map was a good idea if they could clean out that guy in fridge. But Cinder stayed alive just long enough to make sure that flag grab wasn't going to go anywhere.
Yeah, massive missed opportunity here, and then Sniper will not end up finishing off this kill, so time bought on the side of SUUS, and if we know the secret, that's so disappointing. That looked all in your favor. Camo surely in your control, and all the bodies down, but I do agree, pulling the flag that side, it could have worked out very, very well, but in hindsight, we'll perhaps look at that one and think, well, that one's the one that got away from us. However, counter pressure will now come in on Wise sending some dynamos in, and he's got two in front of him here. Body system in check, will get one, and will fall to the second. Very close. I heard you there. Very close indeed.
Yeah, bit sneaky there from Vexus. He nearly lost a 2 versus 1 as his teammate fouled down. But off the back of that sort of push from SUUS, they've held momentum now after defending and returning that first flag. They do grab one out, throws it into the middle part of their yard. I don't think that's going to be utilising it into a flag grab. More almost turning the heads of WeKnowTheSecret to back to their base for a second, so they can't get that map control. It was a good setup at the start from WeKnowTheSecret. They had that control of the side of map with Sniper sitting in that top P. They just couldn't clean out the players, and that's what really lost from the side. Once again, we've gone back now, Enigma, to this sort of back and forth right now. No team holding the advantage. We're grabbing flags. People are running flags towards each other's bases. We do see WeKnowTheSecret's flag out on their opposite side of the map. So SUUS have managed to pull this one all the way back. So even though it was thrown out yard, it was never returned. We're looking at Cinder now to hopefully make a play somehow to keep that flag alive. But he's also got to pay attention to his own flag going the other direction. Enigma, this could go either way right now. As WeKnowTheSecret thought the best way to stop that cap coming through, grab their opponent's flag and bring it back to their own base.
100%, this becomes a game of chicken right here, and these could be a massive gunfight here for Zer, but he will fall, and, well, as we fall then into this standoff situation, and heat wave in hand here, manages to clean it up. Sniper there doing an important job for his side. Just got to be careful, though, because he will drop, and team will get in, and it's a capture, and it comes on through for WeKnowTheSecret, pulling this back level again, and Uman will get in himself with 2 as he pulls himself out. And this is now becoming a situation, a scary counter-pull situation for WeKnowTheSecret. They've got to react to this, and Creepy will be doing his best.
Yeah, he's got a good position on the map there. He's making sure that no players are sort of pushing yard way towards getting towards this flag grab. There should be a return. But last time they were in a situation where they should have returned the flag, they'd elected to just leave it. And that managed to get a SUUS player to pull it across the side of the map. That's how we had this back and forth. At the end, WeKnowTheSecret now have got their first flag grab of this game, their second of this overall since the disconnect. They are 2-0 up there, Enigma. So this means that SUUS have got 2 flag grabs to get back into this game.
Well, they need to be doing a much better job of building up and taking that map pressure. We have spoken about it a couple of times. It seems to be very quick dash and grabs, almost trying to steal it away, and the commando there perhaps not going to put in enough work, and he will end up falling. But yeah, we've said it a couple of times. There just seems to be quite a few attempts of dash and grabs there. Lovely use of the thrust, by the way. But as much as you can get them to come through at times, clearly it is not working right now for SUUS, and they need to instead be trying to build things up more patiently and then execute on some advanced map pressure, or maybe off the back of some utility.
Yeah, it was a relatively close game in terms of slays, so it's not like WeKnowTheSecret are outslaying by that much, maybe even 1 or 2 kills. So we should see a closer game. It's just all about the utilisation of when they get the pressure. WeKnowTheSecret managed to grab that flag early on, but now as I'm talking, you see on the other side of the map, you've got Uman all the way back to his base. This should be a flag grab. He's just going to play it nice and easy, utilise that sort of outside jump up, get the cover of the pillars, and that's going to be tied 1-1, but it's still a 2-1 game. I will keep stressing this. WeKnowTheSecret are still 2-1 up on this one, but SUUS, that's a crucial flag grab to get. They need to get something going at some point, get momentum on their side once again. As I said, they had the equal slays, they just hadn't been able to utilise their map control at any point. Now it's the time of WeKnowTheSecret though. They've pushed back into the base, they might be able to get a counter cap here if they can clean out the players on the side of SUUS, like they've done here. Zer and Creepy getting 2 kills there. We've got Sniper already running the flag, and he's already halfway across the map. This is the third setup. This is where you can't really get much shots towards him. He's managed to pull this one all the way across. Bit of the Fumble Army move there. This should be another clean cap. I'm not too sure if any players on SUUS are anywhere near to stop this one. No, they're not. They're all back on their respawns. So even though SUUS did all that work to get that flag grab, to get back in this game, WeKnowTheSecret just countered straight away, Enigma.
Yeah, they did. Complete composure, not worried at all. Just go give themselves that 2-0 cushion again. The Dynamo Nade should connect a little bit. Second one will come on through. And I believe it's Cinder that he's trying to hunt down here, and Cinder will be cleaned up. So again, and as well, the things for WeKnowTheSecret is that they're doing a great job of constantly just getting something out of the situation. It's never a complete sum loss. They might lose a couple of bodies, but there'll be a trade or two, and it just slows SUUS down from getting themselves into a position to execute a flagpole. There was the one that came on through, but WeKnowTheSecret doing a great job of just making it a nightmare right now as Snipeball just continues going on a run.
Yeah, he's done about at least a full 360 rotation of this map right now, Enigma, as he seems to just get cleaned out right at the end. Maybe a bit overconfident there, pushing straight into the back of SUUS's base. But all of this pressure just keeps SUUS almost locked in their own base. SUUS getting a triple kill as well. A nice play from him, just cleaning up all those spawns. Once you've got map control, you know exactly where SUUS can be spawning, either back of a base. If you've got utility control, you might be towards this fridge side. They can trap them in this spot. Even if they're not grabbing a flag, they're already up in this series. So every single second that SUUS has spent in their base is another second they're not getting a fence on the side of WeKnowTheSecret. They're not getting a flag grab or potential pull as well, and it's just counting down right now.
It is. They're more than happy to buy time at this point, and that will be another kill coming on through for Sunrise, who actually could do with a couple more of them. He's behind the assist count, but not necessarily so much. And look at the pull, it's out again, and Sunrise is going to have to go big. It's not necessarily been his game so far. She sits at 9 and 14, but this is a huge moment. Vex will get the melee kill in on a man, but it'll be cleaned up. You've got to clean it up. It's got to be tidier as he gets away, and this is dangerous.
Oh, that was a brilliant play from SUUS for slip and slide, but he's still got to make sure this flag is going to be returned. He's came back again there, Enigma. So because Sunrise couldn't clean up that kill on SUUS, he did the dipsy doodle, went towards top middle. He's came back around and made Sunrise regret that one. That's a good return. That's a nice play there from SUUS. Nice individual play. Whilst his teammates around him weren't offering much support.
No, they weren't indeed. He really needed someone to arrive. So he just tried desperately to buy time. SUUS here. They just team up with Xur and try and clean out this left-hand side. How do they go about it? One down, both below is it's going to be as they push up the back of these stairs, and this now becomes difficult because buddy system's in place. The boys are here to cover over if needed, and it's straight out and away from the other side. And just to remind you guys, there was that disconnect. WeKnowTheSecret were already one up, and this could become an extremely commanding lead all of a sudden. Surely at this point, almost unreturnable.
Yeah, we're seeing a bit of a desperation from SUUS. They do have players on the side of WeKnowTheSecret's map. It's going to stop for a moment. I want to see them almost collapse inside of this base like Unwise does. Does get a big double kill there. His teammates around and make sure it's the triple kill. That should be a return. So Unwise has done a really, really good job from almost an inopportune position there. He was in the yard, almost exposed to 3 shots from the side of WeKnowTheSecret. Maybe use those thrusters to push in towards this utility side and get that return. That's almost potentially, if you're looking at a game swinging time this, we could look back at this and say that was a moment where SUUS got back into it. If they can rally off of what Unwise has done here, Enigma. What I've seen so far this whole game is WeKnowTheSecret have controlled one side of a map, and it's that utility side, that hydro side of a map. They've always had players on that side, making it so much harder for SUUS to actually pull a flag out that way, have to make multiple different slays, multiple different 4 down in order to get a flag grab and take the side of WeKnowTheSecret out of that utility control.
Yeah, no, I couldn't have put it better myself. They've well and truly shut the preferred side of this map down. And the thing is, as you do that as well, you just continue to know where the opponents are going to be at all times. You're aware of their spawn locations, aware of what's going on around the map. And look at this, it's just going to come on through. And actually, that nade will stop him in his tracks. So I'm not sure if he wanted to throw that. The thrust will actually take him over, but the teammates should arrive. Oh my god, this is messy. It will go in the end. It gives them the point, but is there potential for a counter pull here as bodies fall and away we go with Cinder?
Oh, yeah, it was a bit of desperation, but it was a good play in the end. I think Creepeasy needs to get that flag cap in, because if he didn't pull that one, then there was going to be SUUS players all over his base, and they could have got that return. Didn't want a repeat of what happened maybe a minute ago in this game when they had that last flag out. But so far, we've seen a good defense now from WeKnowTheSecret, and they're 4-1 up in this game. They had that flag grab before the reset, so they only need one more here, Enigma, and they've won the game. And right now, Xur is running that last flag. He might have fumbled it in the end, but again, every single flag run from a side of WeKnowTheSecret came from this exact same side, Enigma.
Yeah, and once you are through here, it is so difficult to be stopped. You just need to basically get through this next door. And Unwise here has got a heck of a job to return this. He will get in for the last bit. His teammates will arrive. But the thing is, for WeKnowTheSecret, you've now got a minute 30 to hold on, and you're fine. And you know, even if you were to somehow capitulate here, you'd be hard-pressed to give up 3 flag advantage. The camo gets the pull, but it isn't fully capitalized on yet. And this looks like a return.
Yeah, it's just not possible at this point, really, for SUUS to rally the 3 flag grabs back to back to back while still staying alive, especially when you've got pressure like VexZeus in the base. This game right now is just playing the side of WeKnowTheSecret. They can just sort of hold back a bit, make sure they're getting their slays, maybe even pad their stats a bit, but instead they're running the flag. They want to get this done. They want to get it ended before that 1 minute timer ends. They have made it all the way to halfway. It is going to get returned. So what you're looking for right now is just a bit of a momentum stopper. WeKnowTheSecret's got momentum. We want SUUS now to sort of make sure they're getting slays, make sure that at the end of this game they put pressure and they're the ones in control going on to our second game.
Yeah, no, and I think that one of the things that we brought up earlier was that the slaying difference didn't look too much. Actually, I think that now you can kind of see that there is a bit of a gap between sides. The one thing that is interesting, actually, is every time you seem to be on a SUUS player, there seems to be getting, like, multi-killed scenarios, and I just wonder if they're getting those and it's making the stats not look as bad, but across consistent gunfights, it just hasn't been going their way. And Sunrise here gonna pull one in to make the scoreline look a little bit prettier, but that's still gonna be 4-2, 10 seconds left to go. And I tell you what, you backed WeKnowTheSecret coming into this. I went against you, and all of a sudden my money's looking down the drain because WeKnowTheSecret looking very, very good in our Aquarius CTF.
Yep, 4 to the end scoreline there for WeKnowTheSecret. And realistically, you touched upon it there, the slays went on the side of WeKnowTheSecret. We're going to jump on board and look at the stats in just a moment's time. But I think a lot of the kills which SUUS got were all defensive kills. They were kills they sort of had to make in order to stop a flag. They weren't offensive kills to pull a flag on the other side. And obviously you can't really see that in the stats. A lot of those ones were maybe cleanups. They might have got a double kill where WeKnowTheSecret were pushed in. But just looking through these stats, Enigma, what can you see? What's catching your eye right now?
I mean, we came on board with a couple of players, but especially Snipeball. He, at one point, was absolutely popping off, fragging out of his mind. I think you made that comment where he'd basically done an entire lap of the map by one point and stayed alive, involved in gunfights the whole way around. As we flick on there, the amount of damage being dealt out, 7k plus for Zert and Snipeball. That's a shift and a half. So you can just see, I mean, if we would stick right there and take a screenshot, it tells you pretty much everything. The damage out was way more on the side of WeKnowTheSecret.
Yeah, and just to confirm there, our first game of the series, CTF Aquarius goes to the side of WeKnowTheSecret. Next up, we're going on to Streets Slayer. And there's one thing in Halo, and you don't have an equivalent in Call of Duty, but Slayer's been a staple. And the one thing which Slayer does is a team which is sort of that lower ranked team, but the team which has good Slayers, but their objective play isn't necessarily the best, it allows them to come back into a series. We saw it multiple times throughout some of the other Open series last time as well, where the teams which were the weaker on paper but had still good individual players, they came out and won the Slayers. That's realistically what I'm clutching on in terms of if you are still rooting for SUUS at home as well. These guys, these 4 players are very individually talented. They now don't have to worry about flag grabs. They don't have to worry too much about any sort of objective presence. They have to worry about where their team are, what side of map they're controlling, and just how hot they are with their gun skill right now, Enigma. And I think Slayer it is one of those ones where it's more likely to go towards like a bit of a 50-50. And realistically, when you look at Streets, what sort of things have they got to play with? What were you really looking for both these sides to try and take control of?
Well, I mean, obviously you've got rockets, but the big one for me that I think that I'd love to see teams control is going to be that shotgun, the Bulldog over on purple side. I really want to see that utilized. It so often throws the spanner into the works of a side. There are a lot of straight lanes in this. You know, you've obviously got your central left and your right, but you do have quite a few close quarter fights in this map, and especially as teams look to take control of power positions and of power weapons, I do think that the Bulldog is one that a side can pull out and utilize in those moments. However, you did say before, there is no equivalent to this in Call of Duty, which is obviously where I'm coming over from, but I'll be damned if I'll say it. Slayer really, really works in Halo, and this could be a great game. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to jump on board with Uman at the start of this one. Rockets in the side, already been taken. I'm pretty sure that is one of the SUUS players who's grabbed that one so far as well. So even if he doesn't fire the rockets, now WeKnowTheSecret have realised that power weapons in the control of the other team. They're going to play a bit more passively, just to sort of avoid getting shots from rockets. Instead, actually, Uman's going to come through and triple kill, get some cleanups in his team. That's a nice little play there, nice little team call-outs. And immediately at the start of this game, getting those 4 kills,
for free, effectively. No challenge, no trades at all of any of those 4 kills. That brings and puts all momentum on the side of SUUS now at the start of this one. It's their game. They're back in this series. You can forget about Aquarius CTF. They need to utilize what they've got here, utilize that pressure on the map, and just start slaying.
Yeah, and this kind of automatically already has shown us what you said about Slayer. These players don't have to worry too much about where they have to be. They can go to where they want to be. And the thing is with SUUS, they came out straight away taking all the gunfights and all the challenges. And I think you could see the difference there as we know the secret. We're just a bit more... They're arriving into gunfights a bit too late to be trading anything and having sort of impact, and it was far too loose, and they're going to be a full team wipe ahead of SUUS right now and looking really good. And we're going to stay with Aman. Aman is absolutely frying right now. 5-0. Can he make it a 6? That's the Bulldog coming back at him. They've got to be careful because that will shut you down fast.
Yeah, and he's got the killing spree at the start of this game, as you said, and it's his first death there. You know, a good 2-minute spree, almost... Just by him playing his life, he had to have 3 players in WeKnowTheSecret just root him out of that position. But now we're looking at the tie score. That initial start has been almost to nothing now. WeKnowTheSecret have got a bit of control on this map. They've got their third position. They've settled down. Those rockets are going to come up any second now as well. And with a Bulldog in the hand of Creep Easy, he's in a great position to block anybody coming across from this Old Town side of the map. And almost playing sneaky enough, he picks out one. That's 1 down, and Wise not knowing he was there. Rocket should be on the side of WeKnowTheSecret. If not, at least the map control has been so far. Creep Easy shouldn't really be pushing out on that side. He just stays that angle, play with his team. He didn't need to move. He knew there was going to be players on that side of the street for SUUS. He had the Bulldog. He should have played the close quarters combat there.
Yeah, 100%. He was initially using it the exact way I wanted to see. I look big brain for just a second because he's doing exactly what I said to do. Get yourself that weapon and lock down a close quarter area, and he did a great job of ensuring that Rocks went to his team, but then gets a bit too aggressive, a bit too comfortable with himself, and the melee fight is messy, but Snipeball comes out on top with a nice little double. And I'm actually wondering where that Bulldog's gone, because I don't know if we've seen Rocks be used, but that is still going to be an important weapon to take control of, as SUUS here will clean that one up. And it's tight, but WeKnowTheSecret managed to get themselves back in front, so all that advantage that SUUS had built up early, gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's still trades coming across the board right now, so we're still seeing a relatively close game. In fact, a bang-on close game, as it's 20-20 right now. What is the next sort of play for both these sides is once they get a couple of slays in their favour, they get that lead, they utilise that and keep control on the side of the map. But so far, it's been trades across the board. We've seen SUUS sort of caught out by himself there, just trying to play his life for too long. Maybe should have rotated back to his team, realising his team was spawning up towards this train station side of the map. And once again, we see there again, Unwise making this individual push. So far, a lot of the plays, a lot of the slays are coming through from these individual pushes. Nice kill from Snipeball. And I don't know which way it's going to go in terms of the map control, but all I know, Enigma, is that the Rocket's going to be pretty crucial right now. 20 seconds until that's up on the map.
Well, I feel like, if anything so far, teams have been pretty poor at using them. They're doing a great job of setting up around them, and, well, apart from the opening break, but you saw that, teams are happy to try and control around the area and shut down the opposition. But then actually using them, we haven't seen too much yet as we continue with Snipeball here, who has been fragging out. Gets another one there. All headshots, looking really crispy on the feed. But, yeah, you can see it here that the Rockets have been picked up. I do believe that they've fallen mid-map, and someone maybe got away with them there, and they do, and they come back in. The Sniper will finally fall, and it will be basically from that Rocket to the backside. So it's a tight game. It's neck and neck right now. You've got a couple players, Snipeball and Cinder in particular, absolutely frying a man. Had that pop off at the start, has been quiet since. But again, we spoke about it in the last game a little bit, body systems and getting together and being with your teammates. You see an example of it there and how effective it can be. And there you go, the assists come on through. We've not seen too much of that through this, so which team hunkers down better and works together as a squad.
Yeah, and this bit right now, if this map keeps being tied for another 10 kills or so, Enigma, that's where it's going to start to slow down. Right now, these guys are still trying to push the advantages, still trying to pick out players who are left in unopportune positions, but almost right now, it's just SUUS. We're absorbing the pressure right then. Unwise sat in a little bin behind Mares, playing his life, making sure his teammates have the shots against him. Zuz now caught out in the open as well. But trades across the board, back and forth throughout this game. As I said, another 5 or so kills. If it stays the same, this one should slow down, and it should be all around that Bulldog, maybe the Rockets, maybe just getting that first pick and working as a team of 2, at least on map, to try and get some map position.
Yeah, no, 100%. One of the reasons why Slayer works so well in Halo and perhaps why a Slayer type mode wouldn't work elsewhere is because of power weapons. You can't just go and hunker down in a room and push the team onto you, because they might get control of a rocket. And we saw there, we're heading towards that 20-second marker left. for Rox and which team gets control of it. We know the Secret are going to be 2 up at the minute and just setting up to control any entry in and out of rockets. But as Unwise continues to pester here and stop that setup coming on through, and it's split. Team players are all over the map right now. As we come into rockets, all going to be available. Can Unwise just, he gets it, but can he get out? He does. Oh my god, that's a free pick. And we will eventually fall for a second there. That looked like the freest pick in the world and would have been disastrous for the boys over on WeKnowTheSecret.
I have no idea how he managed to get out that rockets alive for so long. I just thought Creepy Easy was right down bare on his sights. But I guess in a way, it's almost a free kill for WeKnowTheSecret. He didn't need to push a rockets in that situation. Everybody was up on the map. It was almost going to be almost a sacrifice for his own death. And we still now see SUUS, who just managed to string a few kills together. They've managed to get a full clean wipe here now. So the first time in the game, we've seen 4 kills in favour of one team. And what a perfect time for SUUS to get it. 45-41. They only need 5 more kills. It's effectively 1 more full team wipe and an extra kill, and you're done. This map, they've got the map control. They know exactly where all of WeKnowTheSecret are. All towards this backside of Subway right now. They just need to play their lives, and they play almost for bait and switch right now. They need to work as a team. They don't need to be overzealous and aggressive. But so far, all I'm seeing is WeKnowTheSecret getting stuff from a kill cam, and now SUUS, Cinder's almost in a position where he has to play his life. He has to try and stay alive. Brilliant hold from WeKnowTheSecret to tie this one back up. They get 4 kills of their own, uncontested as well.
They do, but now they need to avoid falling into the same trap because Snipehole is going to be pushed all the way up here, effectively trapped between 3, but he's still alive. How has he stayed up there? His teammates arrived just in time. Fantastic stuff from them as we head into, this is squeaky bomb time. This is as close as it can really get at this point. Both sides not willing to give an inch, and they quite frankly can't afford to, and we've got so much time left on the clock. How will teams get creative here? How will they go about securing this map?
This is where you have to push advantage, not a kill advantage, a shield advantage in times as well. If you get that player down to half shields, that's effectively 3.5 players on the other side of a team if you can push towards that one. We do see SUUS now, they're the aggressive side. They've decided to try and take this Old Town side of the map, trying to play the angles almost. Sniper's doing a good job of sort of just holding down this angle, making sure that it isn't a free kill, it isn't a free pick. He is sort of left alone on that side of the map. And Sunrise, although he's holding a good angle right now, I want to see him almost try and get some position on the map, try and get some sight lines towards other players, and not just sit in that corner. Because the longer he sits in that corner, the more time WeKnowTheSecret have to get across the map. You can see that if Sniper gets 1 rocket, does manage to get an injury onto the other one, and Vexus picks it up. So that's another big kill. It's 49-47, only 1 more kill left in this one, Enigma. Cinder's got to back away. This might become a bit of a stalemate once again as you see all of SUUS push towards the back of this train station. They get the slays in the end though. So that's SUUS coming through 50-49. Vexus with the AR is not going to get the job done. 2 players from SUUS there end this one 50-49 and being 3 slays down. I thought it was all over for SUUS, but they rallied back as a team and we managed to get those last few picks to win that game. It's what we said, Enigma. It's what we said. Slayer is one of those ones we can go on the side which looks for less objective efficient in a way, and we've seen that right now. SUUS get the lead. Talk us through the stats.
I mean, I have so many questions about the end of that one, but we're going to look at the stats for just a second here. You can see that towards the end there, I mean, you had a couple of Unwise there. It's neg by a couple, Sunrise neg by 1. But, I mean, Oman and Cinder are going to be happy with their individual performances. Honestly, you look at that stat board, and I don't fully know how to explain that WeKnowTheSecret haven't come out on top on that one. They looked good pretty much all the way through it. Uman has dropped 5.6k damage, his nearest teammate being at 4.1. He had that pop off at the very start. I thought he went quiet throughout the rest of the game, really, but apparently he was putting up some serious figures and really has dragged his team to level up this series.
That's what I really love about the damage dealt and the damage taken stat. It's almost like that hidden stat for a player. Even though it looks like a pretty standard 15-12 game, he has that 5.6k damage. We're going to lock on board and look at our series overview now. It's going to be tied up at 1-1. So after initial 4-2 win for WeKnowTheSecret in CTF, they fall down 50-49, the closest you can get in a Slayer on Streets. And our third game right now, we're going to be jumping on board with Oddball on Live Fire. Ball's in the court of SUUS right now, but we're going back to objective, Enigma, and that's where WeKnowTheSecret have shined in that game 1. Realistically, even though momentum's on the side of SUUS, do you see them sort of pushing forward in that one, or is objective going to go back in the favour of WeKnowTheSecret, who did so well in that first game time?
It's difficult. This is obviously an objective mode, which WeKnowTheSecret looked fantastic in that CTF, but Oddball adds so many different dynamics to the objective play, and allows you to be far more, you can rotate that ball into positions where you actually want to be, which we saw, SUUS kind of like taking fights where they like taking their fights. So I don't know. It's a tough one to call. I'm going to continue to stick with SUUS because that was my opening call, but I don't know. It's very hard right now.
Yeah, realistically, again, all the round-based gameplays can, and one thing I'll shout at as well, how oddball in this game, Infinite, has been played is amazing. I think having these round-based timers and victories, having to have 2 rounds to win as well, really sort of plays to the fact that one team can have a setup and just control that first part of a game, but it allows another team to get back into it. But having these an extra round coming through, reset it back to 0. I'm going to be looking for snipes from this map, Enigma. I understand it's an objective game. I know the oddballs on this map, but I want to see some sick sniper shots. I want to see one of the players on one of these teams just pull it out, whip a no-scope or get a quick skip on someone and try and pull this ball as well off the back of sort of a big power weapon play.
No, well, if you were watching the NA Pro Series on Wednesday, you saw that Cloud9 phase final. Some of the snipes coming off were enough to get me out of my seat, and I was watching that thing in bed at 4 a.m. So it was an absolute phenomenal performance. We're going to actually see the sniper in the hands of Sunrise here. Tries to flick one out. Doesn't end up happening, but he's just going to pocket it for now and continues to rotate around. And as we go off the start here, you can see both teams just trying to clear themselves some advantage and get themselves moving forward with it. And we will get a pull and away. Sniper in hand, though, you're going to have to be careful. You do not want to drop the ball and a sniper at the opponent's feet.
Yeah, bringing this ball all the way down to tower as well. He's opted to throw it out because Sunrise still has that sniper rifle control. He's going to try and utilize the sniper rifle control to get some picks towards these WeKnowTheSecret players who know going to be pushing towards this tower side of the map. So far, he's sneaking behind one. That's a whip no-scope on Azur. That's what I wanted to see. What a shot from Sunrise. He's still alive as well, playing his pillars. Can he get the shot on the VexSUUS? No, but all of that time that he's staying alive there allows Cinder, allows his teammates to come back and gain control of that oddball time. So really good utilizing and understanding of the map to sort of play around those pillars, make sure he's not going to be a free kill for VexSUUS, make sure he's going to be a tricky enough kill so his teammates can come back and regroup. And once again, we see SUUS. They haven't got a full setup at the moment, but they still have that oddball and they're rotating across the map.
Yeah, no. 100%, and they're just going to pop it into the back here. And the thing about this position is if you weren't totally confident in your setup, you can just do that. You can play ball. And for a second there, that didn't look like it had made it, but were they a bit premature with it? Was that a bit too obvious? No, I don't think so. Ball's out there nearly with the repulsor. That could have been beautiful for just a second. Repulsor heatwave combo, very, very nearly. And now we go back to a reset scenario. SUUS are going to be 20 points in the lead, but Sunrise looks to rotate around the back here. No one spotted him. Zer's going to be caught out. He will fall. So now they've got themselves essentially a WeKnowTheSecret sandwich. As long as he can stay up here, Sunrise, he's got to be careful. But the problem is that as the ball falls into SUUS hands, players fall down, and the overshoot will go the way of WeKnowTheSecret. So this could very easily be a counter play coming through. Play ball comes in again, and we will indeed be seeing a WeKnowTheSecret side with a lot of tools in their hands, but VexSUUS as well with the Mangler. This could be a WeKnowTheSecret moment right here.
Yeah, absolutely. VexSUUS is just playing the pressure on the side of his map, but around all these slays, WeKnowTheSecret haven't really been able to get that oddball into good position. It was still locked down bottom middle. They couldn't really get anything going, despite getting about 6 or so slays during that whole rotation. Eventually, they still managed to continue this momentum, still the slays on the side of WeKnowTheSecret. They pull that ball all the way back to the other side of the map, away from where SUUS is spawning. This is a nice heads-up play from VexSUUS. And again, I talked about rotating around the map. And that's exactly what he's done. He's in a full rotation as well, Enigma. He's managed to get his all the way back towards his teammates, towards his tower side. The oddballs on their side as well. Another set of slays here, and they should be right back in the game. They should be able to take the lead off the back of this play from VexSUUS and his teammates around him. You look at the stats, and VexSUUS hasn't only got 3 kills. And he's got 2 deaths, but the whole time he's been alive, he's been putting shots down on different people on the side of the map. He's pulled those 5 assists, which is massive. It's basically stopping any suspects from pushing forward right now. The Mangler in hand gets a beat down. We should see the ball be reset. It does. It's a perfect play from WeKnowTheSecret. They knew they were going to get pushed. They knew they just needed to drop that ball and make sure they're reset and ready for the next one coming up.
Yeah, I think you saw a very disciplined play out of VexSUUS. You were right when it came to, the stats don't necessarily look brilliant, but he's buying so much time and having so much presence around the map. They didn't really matter. This game will eventually go back in the lead. The ball will go off the map again. And what you're seeing here is no team able to set up a solid defensive hold with the ball. Every time a team is getting a hold of the ball, half of the time you're just seeing essentially as soon as they get a hold of the ball, half the team's gone down, so they're not able to hold it for very long, and off the map it goes. And I do feel that whichever team manages to get a hold of it first and rotate out will indeed come out on top in this first round.
Yeah, I think Sunrise was seeing ghosts there for a second around. Green, he was trying to find a player which wasn't there. Eventually just pick up under Vexus. And again, we just saw from Sunrise's point of view, Sniper was left in a 3 versus 1. He drops that ball down bottom middle. His team only got about 10-12 seconds or so on that ball. Shout out to Lightning, some backsmack onto Creep Easy. But those 10-12 seconds is what's the difference right now. That last sort of hold from WeKnowTheSecret has meant that they are ahead in this game. And effectively, they keep just getting the initial set of slays to grab this ball when it starts to respawn in again, Enigma. Even if you hold it for 5 seconds, even if you just take it across the map, those are time ticking down for SUUS. They're not holding the ball, and they've got to push and try and react to what WeKnowTheSecret have done.
100% as we head towards the final 2 minutes of this first round. And again, it's just not clean. We do have, you know, the ball in the hands of SUUS, but that will be the second player going down. And as plays begin to collapse, you're going to see the ball get launched again, and it will. So, again, nothing clean, nothing tidy. And just a couple of points, literally 1 point between teams as WeKnowTheSecret go back into the lead. Can they hold it out at a crucial point in the map?
Yeah, Vexus is playing so confident. I mean, he had to back down from that gunfight, but it was a smart play to make in the end. He's roaming across the map. He's going to get locked onto a rock and decide to opt to go to the death screen right there. But whenever I jump on board with Vexus, he's just been flying around this map. He looks like he's just running free. He's free to get shots across the map, free to get the slays. SUUS, though, have still kept this one tied. It's almost like our Slayer is trading back and forth right Enigma. No one can really get a setup. They can't get that set of slays to all just sort of like calm themselves down and make sure they can bring the ball back to where they want to. This is the first time almost in the whole game that SUUS have managed to get a setup, and as soon as they've got it, the Slay's gone on the side of WeKnowTheSecret, so still going to be back and forth gunfights, and the ball being on this side of the map, the ball being in the house, almost means that there's nowhere to drop it, there's nowhere to play the ball. So if you do lose those initial gunfights, WeKnowTheSecret then pick up that odd ball, it's already set up in a position which they can use. So it's a really good heads-up play from SUUS right at the end there, where they threw that ball out into the yard to make sure WeKnowTheSecret couldn't get any time for free.
Yeah, but Overshield comes on in, and Wise has managed to do a good job here with a couple of kills with it, but unfortunately he's going to have to now, no, it doesn't come on through, so just like that, the ball will go back to WeKnowTheSecret, and as time ticks down and as both teams cross that 69 marker, we will have the ball rotated back towards Garage, and again, it's just loose. There's no really strong setup here, but you see Heatwave in hand, a couple of tools to play with, and a bit of map location. So could this be finally the big first hold that we've seen?
Yeah, what a time to get it as well for WeKnowTheSecret. They do get a full set of slays there across the board, so they manage to hold this house just for enough time that whilst you're on your spawn camp for SUUS, whilst you're trying to regroup as a team, that's another 10-20 seconds you see on the side of WeKnowTheSecret. Oddball is a game which is down to the wire. It doesn't matter if you've got 99-0, you can still win a game. So that break from SUUS was their last gasp to try and win this round. They do manage to get it done. I want to see how they defend this one. Xur sort of playing sneaky right now. He's just on the left-hand side of the map. Sunrise is going to snap towards him. He's played sneaky enough time to allow Creep Easy and Vexus to get into play. See that sniper rifle in hands of Sunrise. He needs to make some sort of thing go with this. An 88-92, he's one of the last players up on his side of the map. Just trying to play the angles right now, and I quite like this from Sunrise. He's not deciding to over-challenge. He understands that there's players across the map. His teammate's going to spawn up with him. He does his job, managed to get that oddball towards the side of a house. We're almost tied up again, Enigma. The next set of slays basically wins this game.
Yeah, without a doubt. Absolutely. I love what Cinder's doing here. Just playing time, trying to just push people back. We'll get the assist to come through as well. It's just difficult, though. Like, you can't afford to give it up, but at the same time, you've no real presence to go and get it yourself. 88-92, a 3-point game, essentially, at this point, and the ball will fall again. But that's overshielding play. That could be absolutely massive as Unwise manages to get in and grab it. Oh, but wait, he goes down immediately.
This should be it right here. This should be the round side of SUUS. They take our first one there, Enigma. Unwise grabbed the oddball and grabbed a West. He was like, do you know what, lads? I'll get the power up and I'll get the ball. I'll do it all for you. That extra bit of overshield as well just meant that he could stay alive. Meant he had that extra seconds of holding the oddball. He might not have been shooting back, but they had to deal that extra 2-time shield to take him down, to get him to stop scoring, and eventually he managed to get away. So now we have a 1-0 lead to SUUS. WeKnowTheSecret, they had that objective efficiency in the first CTF game. They do have an initial good start in setups, and realistically, it was a close game that first round. It wasn't like SUUS brought it out and they won off the bat with ease. It was was right down to the wire. So WeKnowTheSecret have started well in this second one. They've done what they need to do at the start of this one. Finally got some control on their side of the map. I'd like to see a few more Slayers go to the side of WeKnowTheSecret. But what SUUS are doing really well is they're playing their lives. If the last player up, they don't have an easy death, which allows their teammates to come back into it, allows them to almost regroup as a team and grab any sort of presence they do have. SUUS now with the Needler and the OS. What a deadly combo this is. They have full control of the map. They have it in tower. Third setup is all going the side of WeKnowTheSecret. I want to see SUUS push in towards this side. He does take down Cinder, but also almost gets stuck himself. That OS is off the map for the time being. Enigma, but still control on the side of WeKnowTheSecret.
Yeah, this is a fantastic hold. If we've seen anything, these two teams match each other very, very closely. So getting yourself a 35-point lead, essentially, very good. Ball perhaps goes off a little bit early there, if anything. But, well, we do have instead a reset, essentially. Both teams trying to now get themselves a little bit of presence. Melee will whiff. It connects on this. Finally comes on through. For a second there, it looked like Sunrise. It had a bit of a nightmare. I'm just trying to stay. I'm just trying to clear a couple of things out. He will get the trade through, and that's important because that will allow him the pull, and away we go. And this is can he get up into the top here? He does. He nails the jump perfectly. So, you know, there's a lot of time now to try and pull back, but his teammates are a long way away as they rotate this cleverly towards green. Teammates will arrive, but they have the low ground and not necessarily solid defensive hold. So this could hit it, unfortunately, and that will not go off the map either. So WeKnowTheSecret opportunity here.
Yeah, this could be actually a good play for SUUS in the end, though. Oh, no, I spoke too soon. WeKnowTheSecret almost have an overwatch of our oddball. No one's going to grab it. They were just almost baiting it for SUUS, for the initial SUUS players. That ball should have gone off the map. Sunrise should have been playing. He knew he was going to die. He should just be looking at the water, making sure he gets an extra second or so, and that ball falls off, and instead it's thrown into the wall. And that has allowed WeKnowTheSecret to get the slays that they needed to get. As soon as Uman goes down here, if he does, this should be a clean hold for WeKnowTheSecret, but Uman instead decides, actually, do you know what? I'm going to get that Slay. I'm going to try and put some pressure. And that pressure meant that the ball went off the map. But WeKnowTheSecret aren't going to be holding that ball on the tower side. And they're going to have to retake this one from the bottom again.
They are. Mangler in hand, though, of Vex here. And that's going to be important for trying to clear out this bottom area. Just trying to lock it down. Opposing team will know that he has it. But I love the movement here. I love the rotation. He's going to join his teammates. He's going to try and help clean things out. Zuman will fall as well, and just like that, you've now got two down, but the ball's been pulled, so it's not going to be a clean hold for SUUS because three of their players are currently essentially coming off respawn or down. Actually, they have managed to get it up towards back tower, teammates spawning in, so that's not too bad, but the most important thing there was it stopped WeKnowTheSecret, who were looking really in ascendancy. If they'd managed to pull there, that would have been huge. A lot of map presence, numbers. Oh my goodness me, Creep Easy there with a little jump snipe, and we love to see those. You were asking for him at the start, and you've got one on your screen, baby.
Yeah, that was nice from Creep Easy. Nice bit of flair there. That player was going down the oddball no matter what, but Creep Easy decided to add a bit of entertainment to the stream. Once again, we've fallen into the same thing we had in the first round of this oddball, where both teams can't get a setup, and the slower. And I think this plays into SUUS's hands, right? The slower the game goes, the more sort of like back and forth it goes, SUUS have an opportunity. They haven't been able to hold an oddball setup effectively this whole game. They've been holding it maybe for 20 seconds or so, but all this little time they've been grabbing, they've got the lead in this second round as well. So they keep bringing it back to tower, they keep winning those initial fights to get the oddball off its respawn, and again, and Wise is doing the right thing. Just by him looking at the water allows, if he dies, that ball's going to be dropped. He doesn't have to physically drop it himself. He should look at the water, grab that extra second. Any moment he stays alive is another second on the board for SUUS. They've now managed to get it up to 71 points, where at the start of this game it was about 35-0 to WeKnowTheSecret. So they've got to be on the back foot now. They've got to manage to get a hold again. Tower side is preferred right now. Enigma, we've seen all teams go towards this one. We now have WeKnowTheSecret in control. What can they do in this situation to hold and get back into this game?
Well, if they do continue, if they are going to lock down tower side, they're going to need to do it from kills to the front, but the first kill will go against them, meaning that the rest of the setup essentially implodes and they fall. There was a ball launch off the map, so that will give them opportunity to play for the reset, but the problem is here, you've only got two players arriving, and that's great time play from Zoo. He just does a great job of just slowing things down. Sniper will pick up a double. That's opportunity to get themselves in. And we've spoken about this a little bit earlier on in our chinwag, but if we're talking about role players and we're talking about who likes to play what, WeKnowTheSecret are very happy to just fire this between themselves. They're all sharing the objective. They're all happy to play oddball. Whereas for SUUS, you feel like they have got a particular way of doing things. And that seems odd when you consider how much SUUS are struggling to lock things down. That double from Creepeasy is huge. Heat Wave in hand, Oddball in hand. Now we know the secret, able to back this up towards the rear garage and potentially see something out here.
Yeah, what a play there from Sniper. He used a repulsor to deflect a grenade away from which would have killed him during that time when he was back in the back tunnel, allowing himself to stay up, bring the Oddball back towards this house side of the map. They do have what I'd say a makeshift setup right now. Sunrise is allowed to get in there for free. He's going to be a bit of a nuisance on this side, but the rotation is coming through right now. Sniper's pulled that one towards green. That's in a position where if he dies, he's going to throw it off the map. We've seen it happen throughout this whole game so far. All these seconds where Sunrise can't get towards Sniper, where Uman can't get towards Sniper, are extra seconds towards victory. Sniper's going to do all he can to hold that ball for as long as possible. It does fall back down again, and now it's the sprint. Who's going to get towards this Oddball at the start? It looks like it's going to be a player from SUUS. Sunrise has got to join the action with this sniper rifle. Can he try and find a link towards his team? He sees Zah, gets a nice little no-skip onto him. That's a big shot from him. His teammates are all falling behind him. It's down to him almost right now. He nails the Oddball back to him. Nice shot again onto Sniper. He's done what he can for his team right there, Enigma. It was 98 seconds to WeKnowTheSecret. If he had lost that gunfight, he hadn't hit those two snipes, it would have been a round towards WeKnowTheSecret.
It absolutely would have. Big players hit big shots in big moments, and those were needed. Comes through with the two hip fire and then swaps the BR. Absolutely love to see it. He's still trying to cook something up here. He's got to play his life for just a second, though. Shields are low. Ball is still here in the middle. Cannot let anyone touch. Do we see more shots? He hits one. There's only 2 seconds left to go. What is going on here? Oh my goodness me, nearly hits that. That would have been absolutely insane. And we are now on with Sniper and his team. Just need 2 more points. Creepeasy grab there, and that should see that one through. But goodness me, that was nearly an absolutely ridiculous play out of Sunrise.
Yeah, that was a close one. If he had hit that snipe there, if he managed to get a body shot onto that WeKnowTheSecret player, it would have been a different story for sure. But WeKnowTheSecret knew they only had 2 seconds. They could effectively just desperate about Oddball, make sure they get, back the other team down and just hold it for 2 seconds is barely any time for you to do so. But off the start of this one again, Trey's getting back on the map. The OS is going to be the next sort of power we're looking towards as the Oddball is finding its way onto the SUUS player's hands there. Nice shots from Sniper on this overshield side of the map, but he falls just before he can grab that OS himself. So that's still in play.
Just trying to play his life here, and unfortunately the grenade will clean Zoo up, and Creepeasy here gets one. Can he clean up Cinder as well? He knows where he's off to. Knows that shields are broken, but this becomes long and teammates will arrive to support. But the problem is, ball's out in the open and they have no real control of the ground above them. Like this, just play your time, get in the back, a nice little back smack, that will do. Creepeasy there gets one, and because his position wasn't known until the very last second, he essentially ends up completely pulling apart SUUS's offensive plans. WeKnowTheSecret will continue to move forward.
Yeah, and there's a rotation now as well, Enigma. WeKnowTheSecret have pulled themselves all the way through house. They're trying to get to that green side of the map. I don't think they did do. They sort of went back because they realised SUUS was spawning over there. They're going to try and throw this ball out and try and get another rotation on the map as well. SUUS haven't done this. WeKnowTheSecret have done multiple rotations, and every single second that ball's being held and it's being moved across the map, even if it's in a weird position, it almost allows you to sort of put the pressure still towards SUUS. They've got to be chasing the game. They'll push and try and set up to get a house break, but then suddenly WeKnowTheSecret rotate the ball towards the outer overshield area of the map or towards tower on the other side. So it's a nice sort of heads-up play from WeKnowTheSecret. It doesn't end up going the way they wanted it to, but now the ball's out in the open, so it's so much more harder for SUUS or WeKnowTheSecret to pick this ball up. It might be reset, or the OS might come into play as it's going to come up any second now, Enigma.
Very tidy little perfect there coming in from Sunrise, and we saw him heat up towards the end of the previous round. Only 3 and 4 for this one so far, but the shot is certainly looking good. Okay, that was messy, and then all of a sudden, that's a lot of bodies down for SUUS at a time where WeKnowTheSecret now have an opportunity to pull the ball out. They will do just that, rotate it over towards tower side, overshield in hand, and you know where Cinder's trying to get to. He's trying to get to his teammates. Will burn the overshield, so he does a good job at least, giving his teammates an opportunity to push out and try and counter this tower play.
Yeah, Zer's got this ball in a good position right now, right at the back of tower. It's practically the furthest away from Sus to get towards him. If Sus can't get these slays, and like they haven't here, they're going to be spawning all the way on the other side of the map. That's another 10 or so seconds where this ball's going to be held from Zer as well. They're in a good setup right now. Sniper's going to play almost like the protector in the mid side of the map, and Vexus and Creepies have got to realise that Sus is going to make this play towards the outer side, the green side of the map. But as you see right now, it's taken this long for Sus to get this ball all the way across the map. The ball does get played in the end. Zer deciding to go and use his guns instead, try and get some slays on board and play his life. Whilst he's being sneaky here, it's just drawing the attention of Uman. He can't get towards that oddball, he can't get towards his team, and now he's left alone at tower. And once again, WeKnowTheSecret have got control. They've brought this ball back to tower. They can't seem to get the ball all the way there as Uman and Unwise come together to stop them right at the end there, Enigma.
They do. Now, we spoke a little bit before about, these teams and how they've done recently, and SUUS obviously qualified through Open 3 to get to that Pro Series, and I don't know, there's just something here that they're just lacking something in order to really hold down the ball. You'd expect them to have a bit more dominance over scenarios, a bit more shutting down situations, and just like that, Vex has essentially walked straight through, taking the ball, and the ball will go off the edge and play straight back into the middle. Another position there where you look like SUUS. Okay, can you shut this down? Can you see something out? Defensively set up and play the field? No is the answer essentially so far. They do have a round on the board, but it's been tough for them.
Yeah, SUUS have the slays there, and Vexus had an amazing play to almost realise he's in by himself. The best thing he can try and do is get that odd ball out of the hands of Unwise, to make sure it goes off a map, because SUUS managed to hold tower. If Vexus didn't get that odd ball, that's another 15 seconds on their side as well. What we've seen at the start of this game is WeKnowTheSecret look like a different team. They're playing more confident. They're using the rotations. They're grabbing the ball when they have the numbers to do so. This is the first time we've seen SUUS have a setup right now. They brought it back towards this house side of the map as well. We're seeing Cinder right now play towards this bottom tunnel, make sure nobody's sneaking across the map. But off our screens, Creepy's got a sniper in his hands, and Zer's got a back whack towards Cinder. This could be an immediate push. All 4 players down from SUUS, and because SUUS had that house setup, the oddball isn't going to go off a map. It's now in the hands of WeKnowTheSecret, and it's now up to SUUS to break their setup.
Yeah, absolutely. Ball sat over in this far back corner, and that heat wave is going to allow Zer to do enough here to just continue to cut things off and lock things off. But off our screens, the ball's actually down. Sniper ball has been picked up. Heat wave out again. Got to hit shots though, and he does.
Yeah, nice play there from Zer. Utilising that heat wave, a big power weapon, sometimes forgotten about on this on the map as well, or underutilised, I guess. But during this whole time as well, SUUS has still got control of the ball. They managed to re-bring it back towards this house side of the map. It's going to be a bit of a sporadic setup whilst they get these slays, but the key thing is Unwise is now in a safe position. He's towards this window, towards the bend of the house as well, and his teammates have gathered around him as well. This is going to be like a good hold. This might become a close game once again, like we've seen in the 2 other rounds beforehand, especially when Cinder getting a couple of kills to make a double kill right there. They've held it. It's going to be all down to WeKnowTheSecret for this next push. They're spawning back tower now. Enigma, they've got to make their way across this map, and whilst they're trying to get towards there, they've got the guns of Cinder and Sunrise to make and push towards before they can get towards this oddball.
They do, but you got to be careful. Sniper and an overshield combo will be coming up, meaning that a huge moment here. No, the overshield will go the way of WeKnowTheSecret. I couldn't see exactly who grabbed it, but you can see it's been moved towards it. It's Creepeasy with the ball in possession as well. So opportunity here for WeKnowTheSecret to just get themselves that advantage again, and then picks up the ball, and that's a bait, and that comes in through, and Creepeasy will continue to move it around, and a man here with a huge grenade, sniper in hand, will not hit the shot, and well, SUUS did a fantastic job to get themselves back in this, and they must have heard me because I was giving them stick a moment ago, and they went on an absolute tear. But we are now towards the tight end of the map, and oh, Vex very nearly hits the 3, but that's all bodies down. WeKnowTheSecret. Ball will go off, so we'll get the reset. It's a perfect throw, but this essentially becomes a very tight game again.
I think SUUS have got a great setup here. They were all alive when that ball went off a map. They were waiting for it. They brought it all the way back to house. They only need 8 seconds left and they've won this game. This is the last of the push you need for WeKnowTheSecret. They need to get the slays in, and they have done. Vexus, Creepeasy getting the big slays to make sure they get this odd ball in their hands. It's going to be almost close to tied with 8 seconds of both teams, 7 seconds of both teams left in this map, and Sniper's getting the slays. Vexus may just have to stand here pretty as SUUS have got to almost nade him out of this position, and they can't do so. So Vexus coming line in there of Creep Easy, pinching on the players of SUUS to get that last oddball. They rotated to green, and that's all they had to do to win the game right at the end there. What a play from WeKnowTheSecret to close this one out. But SUUS, they definitely had them all the way right to the end there, Enigma.
Yeah, no, they did. And you know, we spoke a little bit about it before. Sometimes the statistics can be misleading. We're going to see here, I think Vex ends up like 9-11 in that final one, overall 32-21. But I mean, sorry, 32-32. But in that final game, it didn't look very pretty. But he made two huge plays at different moments where he essentially sneaks through SUUS setups to deal with the scenario. And especially there at the end, he comes in on that flank through Garage and cleans up and takes the ball off to the corner to win the game out. Absolutely massive, showing just how important it is in these games to play the objective properly. Tell you what, though, regardless, we look across this board. There's a couple of outliers here and there. Unwise with the guy holding the ball pretty much the entire time for SUUS. So we'll not look too much into it. As you can see there, 197 points with the ball, but. I gotta say, these have been some incredibly close games. I thought our Slayer at 50-49 was one. That one felt even tighter. This series continues to impress.
Yeah, it does not disappoint, does it? 84 kills combined between Creep Easy and Snipe Paul in that one. They were going off. We also mentioned Sunrise, especially in that round one, and he did. He made the slays, he made the plays for his team. He got 42 himself as well. So even though we talked about going into it, the objective, I thought WeKnowTheSecret was going to be a better side, a stronger side. They definitely showed that SUUS are equal in terms of their ability on oddball. We're going to jump on board with Recharge Strongholds in our game 4 in just a moment. And if it's anything like the last two games we've had here, Enigma, this one's going to be a close fire game. You're going to be seeing the fast slays from the side of SUUS. I think what they really did well was utilize the speed. And when the game was rough, when it was almost like, back and forth, and it was a bit sloppy, maybe not the right word, a bit scrappy, let's say. It was SUUS who was winning that. They prefer that sort of style, what we've seen so far in these last two games. It was WeKnowTheSecret in the end who just managed to clutch up when it all mattered. We talked about SUUS making that play, but Creep Easy and Sniper made some of their own as well. Overall team play was there. We're going on to the strongholds as well. Momentum back in the side of WeKnowTheSecret.
Yeah, absolutely back in the hands of WeKnowTheSecret. The one, I suppose, saving grace for SUUS right now is that this is a fast-flowing map. This is one that can easily transition and change hands multiple times. We've seen SUUS come back from scenarios where they've not looked too great and then have sustained moments of pressure. And they do like it when it gets scrappy. You're right. And that is definitely what can happen here. So if they are going to get back into this, they need to just go completely, throw everything at the wall, the kitchen sink and all, because this is where they need to stay in this series.
Yeah, we're going to be loading into Recharge Strongholds. I really want to see the first set of slays. Which ways are going to be going? Which team's going to get that initial upper hand? A fast game mode for sure. Recharge on Strongholds. We're jumping board with SUUS for the start of this one. Talked about his play towards the last part of the game, winning the team right at the end. You're going to see one of these players, Unwise, decides to back down. Nice little play from there. Just get some shots on. Make sure he plays his life. He's got the better position towards this B side of the map. And once his teammates clean up, he's going to get the cap on towards B. B is almost the stronghold you want. It's the one you want in this one. It's what you're looking for. AB setup being the better one on the map, and that's how WeKnowTheSecret started.
It is. You can see that we've spoken about it through the series. They love their objective play. They clearly have some strategy in mind, and that trade will do. That trade will do just fine if you're up. You've got yourself the B zone because it's so open. Teammates can just collapse and clean it up all around. And this top tower control from Zer is just going to allow them then to continue to... Actually, he gives it up in the end, rotates on over for C. And this could be a scenario flip as A looks like it's coming through for SUUS as well.
Yeah, it was a play which Zer needed to make in that situation. He wasn't going to be able to stop the cap on B. He realised he was closest to C. He just to rest in his laurels, get some sort of flag cap, stop the massive bleeding from the side of SUUS. They do manage to rotate it, and it almost looks like for free there. We didn't see all players' point of views, but SUUS seemed to take the AB setup very easily in that situation. WeKnowTheSecret barely held it, and SUUS have the lead in this game as well. They've got B, they've got A. They have the chance to get the slays on their side of the map as well and hold this setup. We're on board with Unwise, but A is being capped right now. Sniper's trying to be sneaky towards his A side. He might be rooted out in just a moment. Does get taken out. SUUS towards A. It's a big one-on-one fight for this A in the early stages of this game. See who's going to get the control. SUUS deciding, do you know what? I'm not going to challenge the player from SUUS. I'm just going to cap the stronghold and rotate back to my team.
And the objective. is always going to pay off here in the buddy system. Again, comes on through, but Cinder here gets the double kill, looking for the third. Notice around somewhere. Be careful here. And Zer will clean that up, but trades come on through, and Camo's going to be in play in the hands of Creep Easy. So can he get in and stop this A retake? Oh, wait. That sticky very nearly lands straight on him. I'm not sure if it was aimed intentionally at him or what, but Camo does the job. So can they then capitalize on having it and get themselves in the ascendancy? We know the secret here. Creep Easy continues to go on that tear, but we know the secret are going to be in control of that preferred AB setup, the one you mentioned moments ago. Creep Easy continuing to fly. He might have had that camo in his possession for a while, but a couple of those gunshots were just straight and true, and some fantastic stuff, really.
Really good camo utilization there from Creep Easy, but he puts a pressure on SUUS as well. But they don't just sit on the A and B setup. They decide, let's go towards C. Let's make sure that SUUS have to, one, watch where their own stronghold is, and two, stop them from making pushes towards their own. Creep Easy right now has been controlling this side of the map, this elevated side, A, C almost side of the map right now. He gets a killing spree off the back of that initial camo play, and he's still up on this map so far, Enigma. He's just holding the map where he needs to. Right now, he knows where SUUS is spawning. He's got his teammates around him in brilliant position to make sure that they can close out any push towards B side of the map. C will eventually get capped towards SUUS, but WeKnowTheSecret can just collapse once again. They know when C's being capped, at least one player's in that objective. They know exactly where he is. And you can see the slays just keep coming across towards WeKnowTheSecret. It's almost they're happy to sit right now. I'm not too sure why Creep Easy's waited for a second to get into that stronghold, because he would have been able to stop it if they traded right there. So I'm not too sure what happened there. Maybe a bit of a slower play. Thought he could get there in time. Maybe his teammates called out something else, but it doesn't matter in the end of the day, because SUUS gets the kill. He almost can see Cinder gets the shot, just was waiting for that one and baiting him out. Killing spree now for the side of SUUS, but when you've got Creep Easy on a killing spree, just ending, SUUS on a killing spree, the map control is all on the side of WeKnowTheSecret.
It is, and then the team that you backed at the start of this series, I can see why. They are very comfortable and confident with this at the minute. I thought that SUUS were going to come out and take it to them. Hasn't happened. Mangler now in the hand of SUUS and the Disruptor too, and I don't know, every time that SUUS seems to try and answer back with something, WeKnowTheSecret are all over it. Shock Rifle now, can you hit some shots? He will hit the first, backs it off, buys a lot of time, Snipeball can arrive, and just like that, the communication, we're not in these chats, we obviously can't hear a thing the players are saying, but you can see at times, there's that play earlier where Creep Easy arrived slowly. It was just so that SUUS had time to arrive and get the trade, and you can just see there's that little bit more cohesiveness between this squad than SUUS currently possess.
Yeah, absolutely. I think WeKnowTheSecret as well, even though SUUS got to this top 16 last time, this is a team which has had players which have gone to LAN in America. Sniper, we mentioned it beforehand, he was on the boys roster. He did go all the way across to Rally and get into the pool play. Zer was another player who was in Open Series last time as well, as Creep Easy's also been towards that top bracket. So these players are really good. SUUS of a team setup, so they should realistically have the better team comps right now, but so far WeKnowTheSecret seem to be the better team working side of the map. We still now have a bit of control for SUUS. They've managed to stop the bleeding a bit. They do have A and B. They're spawning WeKnowTheSecret towards C, but what they're not doing, which WeKnowTheSecret have done, they're not pressuring right now, they're defending. And when you defend, it almost just opens up the pressure towards WeKnowTheSecret. WeKnowTheSecret can push in towards SUUS, and if they don't hold, they've lost. If they lose and get killed when they're pushing and being an offensive towards this one single stronghold of WeKnowTheSecret, they might have another set of slays. But instead, they're deciding, actually, do you know what? We're going to just hold A and B. We're not going to go anywhere else. And it doesn't play out well in strongholds because the pressure's just going to be brought towards them.
I agree, and as well, one of the things that we've seen throughout this series, thinking to that oddball, SUUS struggle to set up defensively and hold things. And it's just happening again, essentially. WeKnowTheSecret running over them as soon as they get the opportunity to. SUUS will be here with camo control and with 2 zones, so it doesn't look too bad just for now, but they are still well and truly down and out on this one, and that camo, you would say, has not been fully utilized. And as the cap comes in for WeKnowTheSecret, this is another scenario where SUUS looked like they should be able to hold things down for a minute, and they just don't, and the sword will fall as well.
Yeah, they still have that control. They managed to switch C for A, which actually prefers for the side of SUUS. But this is probably the longest bit of control they've had in this whole game, and it still looks a bit shaky. It's not, it doesn't look clean. But now you see a couple of slays come through from SUUS. They've managed to get a couple together. The sword is in the hands of vexUUS. He's been a nuisance if he can stay alive, but Cinder takes him down. This is starting to spiral slightly for the side of SUUS. They've managed to link about 50 points together. Just off the back, they were so far down, but they still need to control. Their defensive style, I thought was a bad thing, but somehow they made it work.
Well, to be fair, they have struggled throughout this entire series to lock down things when it comes to the defensive portions of play, the defensive transitions, but doing just fine here. And otherwise, we'll get one. The Mangler, oh goodness me, there's grenades and everything all over the place here, and unfortunately falls there, doesn't manage to pick up a single kill. So this will allow WeKnowTheSecret an opportunity to cap A, and they need to come through quickly because there's currently a triple cap in play for Team SUUS. Now, how do they go about it from here? They do have a Mangler in play. You can see the camo is going to be up in around 20 seconds, but we're essentially going back to a tied game, a massive period for SUUS. And although the Slayers are well and truly in the favor of WeKnowTheSecret, they've still well and truly got a game to see out here.
Yeah, things almost spiraled, as we said, for SUUS. That nade coming through to try and take down vexUUS actually helped him out in that one-on-one gunfight. I liked what Sniper did there, right there. He held A. He knew all of his three of his teammates would B. So he just held the Mangler in that little corner, make sure that any pressure towards the side of A he could deal with. You know, one-shot melee. That's all you need with a Mangler in play as well. We have the setup back in control of WeKnowTheSecret. And the one thing we've seen in this series is when they get a clean setup, when they get confident, when they have the right map positions, they're very hard to deal with. But at the moment, Xur has to be almost reacting, and I don't know about that play. I don't think he should have pushed in towards B. He didn't know how many players were in there. He knew he was the last one alive. He knew B was effectively gone. He should have maybe just tried to regroup with his teammates, make sure they weren't going to get a push towards A instead. But now SUUS, they have what is known as a poor man setup, C and B. It's still a good setup to have. They're still scoring points, and they're only 20 points away from tying this game.
They are, but the kills come on through, then they will do enough, and it looks like A will come through, so that's another triple, although C will likely go back the other way. WeKnowTheSecret. All of a sudden, this becomes very, very scary, because we just seen SUUS have an incredible period of pressure. Can they then send it into another one here? I don't know about that. Too quick to try and get out of there. Will drop. I believe that was the grapple shot along with the shock rifle. And Sunrise, you don't need to get aggressive there. You've got a sword. You've shown him you've got a sword. Now play it cleverly, because otherwise it's too aggressive. You just need to take your time there. Gives up the sword. It will come on through, and he's essentially being traded out for C. And as we see an entire, essentially, change of hands here, and that's nerdy. I love that.
That was a nice little cap from B there, though. Xur managed to grab B whilst his teammates were losing C. So they flipped it on their head, and what a time to do so at the 200-point mark. They've got back into control. I did like that push there from WeKnowTheSecret. They try and get the trip cap in play. It hasn't worked out, which has allowed Sunrise to rotate SUUS to rotate around and capture A. But the key one, the one which Xur captured, that B stronghold, is so tricky to recap, especially towards this late end of the game where everybody's eyes are going to be on it. They can try to push towards C SUUS, but most likely WeKnowTheSecret will react and try and capture A. So it's going to be a back and forth here. They might be able to get both C and A. It's a bit of a weaker setup, but what a nice reset there from Vex right at the end. I don't even think he meant to do it. It was Uman who dropped out of the stronghold for just a moment, but it doesn't matter. Right now, sword in the hand of Uman, and they have a triple cap once more, right at the best time to get it.
Yeah, Vex there using the camo to just allow himself to reset that point. Uman here has got to try and play his life a little bit. The nades are coming in through. By staying up, he's just essentially delaying any other rotation out of here. Vex will finally clean it up. The fight will come on through, but this is a ridiculous comeback from Team SUUS, who at one point looked well and truly out of it. I'd given up. I'd stopped backing my boys. Maybe I need to do that more, because look at how they've played out the second half of this game.
Yeah, but it's still there. Creepies need to stay alive just enough. That is a big, big kill there from side of SUUS. That's effectively won them the game. If Creepy stays alive, they captures that A side of a stronghold. It should be a game over. Right now, A is still being capped, so it could be back towards WeKnowTheSecret. But underreaction to that, C is grabbed from SUUS. This game should be over any second. But once it, I just keep going back and forth right now. This is what we like to see. We tune into these Halo Infinite games. When I'm casting, I like to see games go back and forth. vexUUS hopping into B, stopped the timer, made sure that his team got back into control. And this is scary for SUUS. They maybe have only one more push here, Enigma, and if they fail that push, they lose this game.
Yeah, and then Vex manages to get the kill to come through, and just like that, you're now in a situation for Team SUUS where you have got to essentially... You've got one last Hail Mary attempt at this, and the kills are not going their way. The big comeback, the one that we thought was on the cards here, and it looks like WeKnowTheSecret could just shut this out, and I believe that kill will indeed send it through, as Cinder will be the final nail in the coffin. And just, I tell you what, even for a second there, these games have been so incredibly tight, so unbelievably close, that even right at that moment there, when you feel that it could just be over, you don't want to really say it is, because every time we've looked like, oh, this team have got this under wraps, you get this ridiculous sustained amount of pressure from the opposition. A wonderful, wonderful series. I tell you what, if that's my first one, I don't know if I've been slightly spoiled or if I could expect many more of them to go forward.
Oh, that's Halo for you, Enigma. Those series do not disappoint, especially when you get towards the later side of its bracket. Those you tuning in, this is a round 5 game mode. Just looking at these stats right now, look at Zur. I highlighted him getting that single cap towards B near the 200 mark, but he's got 28 kills. 15 deaths on his side of the map. He just controlled that B side. Popping off at multiple different times. 6,300 damage as well. We talked about SUUS making some plays last game. We talked about Sniper Creep Easy. We haven't given Zur enough love on this WeKnowTheSecret side, because he is effectively off the back of his slays won in this game overall. But it ends 3-1. WeKnowTheSecret progress through. SUUS have to go down into that losers bracket. I don't think 3-1 is a fair result in the end of the day. SUUS held WeKnowTheSecret so close throughout all of those games. It could have easily gone all the way to this map 5. We could have been casting a Slayer on Bazaar. But all that matters right now is WeKnowTheSecret. They lock in the 3. SUUS goes down to 1. That means they're going down to the losers bracket. WeKnowTheSecret are going through further into this winners. And an Enigma, I mean, this is your first game casting in Halo Infinite, and to be honest, what a game to cast.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just over here trying to okay, am I okay with everything? Do I understand everything in Halo? And that just unfolded in front of my eyes. What a ridiculous series. I feel like the only game that wasn't particularly close was the CTF at the start on Aquarius. Everything else was touch tight the entire way through. You think of Slayer, 50-49, and the flurry of kills that went off at the end, we didn't even know exactly who had won it until the color appears on our screen. Just incredible game all the way through. Both sides absolutely sparring with each other throughout. I've got to give massive credit to SUUS. I feel like there's a lot of players that we kind of pointed out throughout this series. But again, we spoke about him in the oddball where he kept slipping through the net and just finding ways to upset SUS's defensive holds and find their Achilles heel. In that Strongholds there at the end, he picks up the camo and just does a fantastic job of just stopping all of that SUS momentum, all of that SUS pressure. I wasn't sure if he'd fully utilized it, but he just did enough to upset the boat enough and rock it over for his side's victories come on through. And sometimes the scoreboard might not be in your favor. You know, it might look a little bit underwhelming, but if you're coming up with plays like that through a series that win maps, you're worth your weight in gold.
Yeah, those are almost the hidden plays which the stats don't even cover.
Yeah.
Even with all the stats in Halo Infinite, you know, now we're going into this game, you've got the damage taken, you've got the kills, slays, KDA, all of this stuff, fantastic. But those individual plays on map where you might have just got a kill, or you might have stopped a stronghold, is the game changers. You said the momentum was on the side. I think it was the player on SUS as well had a sword. And SUUS managed to sneak in with a camo towards C in a play as well, where that player on SUS just dipped out of C enough to stop the cap, and the main mate had to take another few seconds to recapture it again. Just now, I mean, we're going to be progressing through to some round 6 action very shortly, but we've got a giveaway here at Europa Halo, and I don't know if you've seen the Xbox Series X, right? It looks pretty slick. Just a standard Xbox Series X, very hard to come by, especially with all this demand right now. But not just an Xbox Series X, it is a Halo Infinite Xbox Series X. The Mjolnir armor, I don't think I've said that right. I probably got slated for Mjolnir. There you go, I've been confirmation. Mjolnir armor, the different sort of little streak of gold, this dark green as well. This is a quality Series X, and they were limited edition. How are you going to get this one? You need to go towards the Europa Halo Twitter page, a pinned tweet, like it, retweet, follow the Europa Halo Twitter page as well. Just for to get some extra points as well, you can subscribe to the Europa Halo channel. That'll gain you 10 entries. Join the Discord. That's another way to get some entries as well. All those different options. And realistically, it's a no-brainer at the end of the day. Just going towards that Europa Halo channel. Just to try to get in that Xbox Series X. I don't know if you have seen it, Enigma, but it's just, I'll be jealous whoever gets it.
Apologies, I do have a little bit of a cough, but I have seen it, and it is a thing of beauty. I currently, I moved away from consoles and onto a PC a little bit ago, but I'm not gonna lie, that thing is beautiful and would very much so tempt me into picking one up. Incredibly difficult to get a hold of, though. So the fact that we've got some for a giveaway is very interesting indeed, raising my eyebrows. I don't know if Snaf are allowed to enter, but I don't know. I might do it anyway.
Yeah, just under a different moniker, maybe. Like, just get another Twitter account and make sure you get your chance to maybe get that as well. Right. What a series we've had. We're going to jump to just a quick break in just a moment's time. And hopefully afterwards, we're going to see some more series of the same caliber. Because I'm going to be sitting down now as soon as we're off the stream and just talking about that one. That was such a good series. We'll see you all after this break. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the EU HCS Open qualifier for the Pro Series. I'm Joe Sketch, and I'm joined by Enigma. And Enigma, we just had an absolute quality series. We just had on the stream. We had WeKnowTheSecret beating SUUS 3-1, but every single game was the closest it can come. So what a way to start off our casting together as well. I couldn't have asked for a better game for us to cast off the start. We are now moving into the losers bracket. It's always named as a shark tank in a way. I'm assuming it's similar across all the esports as well. You have these teams almost lying in wait down below here. Right now, we've got two pretty unknown teams. We've got Team Tilt and 925. A lot of these players are unfamiliar to me, so I'd have to say that they're new to Infinite as well. So a bit of unknown talent both sides, but now they've got their chance to be on stream. This is almost their moment. A lot of these players up-and-coming players, even if they might be new to Infinite, they might be new to esports in general, but these times when they get on the stream are their real time to sort of shine and come through, make sure they would not just have individual brilliance, but also perform as a team as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. And you bring up there that they're relatively new players. I'm glad to hear it because I wouldn't have known them anyway. But yeah, for sure, this is an opportunity for new blood to come through, an opportunity to prove yourself. We're very early on, obviously, in Halo Infinite's life cycle. So, could this be a bunch of youngsters that have just popped up through, that, come through the age bracket? Could this be a squad that's come over from a different game? If we don't know, then we're about to get an opportunity to see what these players are made of. You are several rounds deep at this point, so you've done well to get this far, but you've still got a couple of rounds to qualify for your Pro Series and a couple of big players to get through. If you guys call it Shark Tank, I think I'm used to the term Gauntlet, and it is indeed very, very difficult to get yourselves through consistent lower bracket games because you've got obviously so much quality falling down from above. However, it looks like we're going to go in with a CTF on Aquarius, and we had one of these in that previous series, and it was very much so two teams just trying to essentially steal a flag. There wasn't much in terms of map presence or setup or anything. It was kind of nip in, steal this flag, and get it past the home marker kind of thing. And I wonder what we're going to see here. Do we get to see that game of chess checkers kind of thing going on, or do we see frantic gunfights and gameplay?
Yeah, and with unknown teams, there's unknown strategies to play as well. The losers round here, they're best of threes. Enigma. They're not going to be all the best of fives. We're not going to see the series we had in terms of back and forth to as much detail as we had in the last one and in our winners finals. These, or our winners rounds 5 even, these are going to be losers brackets. They're going to be best of 3. So almost every single map counts just that extra bit more. Our CTF unfortunately does have to get restarted here, though. We'll make sure that lobby's all set up and ready to get back into in just a moment. But that gives us enough time to talk about the series layouts in general as well. We've got Aquarius CTF, Live Fire Slayer, and then we finish it off, if we get there, with the Street Oddball. And with these teams which are just formed, Halo Infinite's only been out for 2 months at this point, actually less than 2 months. Every single competitive game mode you play is an extra bit of practice. Some of these players might not be scrimming. They might be forming a team together, playing some ranked, playing as a 4 just through some ranked lobbies. Maybe they got some scrims done before this tournament. But a lot of players who are new to the scene don't necessarily know the best ways to get through and get some scrims. So these competitive games are the highest competition you can play. The longer you get through the bracket, and these guys have got through the losers round 5, so they've done a good job so far, the more practice you get as a team as well. Aquarius CTF, we saw it very much back and forth, not really any sort of setups. When we're looking for setups on this map, we're looking towards the utility, towards the hydro side of the map. Those are the best ways to get the flag runs. If you do elect to go P side, it's all about control of the top middle, no matter where you go.
Yeah,
that's where you have to have someone, maybe even anchoring down at the top middle whilst you have other players pushing in and grabbing the flag as well. Halo Infinite is not played as quickly as Halo 5, but it's still played at a quick pace game as well. You can get across that map very, very speedily, and especially when you're running the flag, you are going to be moving just a bit slower. But as we wait for this one to load up, I'm looking towards that first initial camo grab. Just to see which team's starting strats are on point, which team's gone into the custom games and got a starting strat ready and utilize it and enact it going on into this one. We're going to be loading up anytime now into this game. I can't wait. If it's going to be anything like that last series, Enigma, we've got another game in our hands which could go the full distance.
Surely I was spoiled with that last series. I mean, my first ever Halo series was that. That was absolutely absurd. If we get any more of those, I mean, my throat's struggling with my cough as it turns out. And I don't know how many of those I could do. But no, we do very much so want to see the opening pace on this, because lower brackets can be this thing where you end up with teams that maybe perhaps had a really difficult bracket through winners and are actually a very good side coming up against a team that is perhaps not as good. Or do you get to super match sides? Because sometimes that can be the case, especially later on in lower brackets, because you end up with these sides that are somewhere between they're not top 8, but they're somewhere between like your top 12s, top 16s, and all those teams are very niggly, very close matchups. So it's going to be very interesting to see. That initial camo grab for sure is something that we want to spot out. Last time we saw it take it quite a bit of time through that We Know the Secret SUUS series. Took a while for teams to get forward and pull it. Do we see the same again? Do we see that respect and trying to win gunfights to open it up? Well, let's find out, because we are off and away.
Yeah, Panther's stunned. Let's just call him stunned for now as well. We're going to be on the stream straight away. Here's his time to shine. As he pushes towards this P side of the map, he notices that all the players of Team Tilt are right there. Pulls that thruster out, decides to back away. It's a good play from him in the end, making sure he plays this live. I'm not too sure about running down that yard side. Get some top mid control for sure. We jump on board with Fragfall now, having the Heatwave in his hands. His team have map control. I'm not too sure if Camo went their side of the map. They now have the position now with this Heatwave, with holding down this P side of the map, with players in utility to put pressure on 9 to 5. So Team Tilt starting up a better of a squad off this initial start of the game, but it looks need to get changed into kills even, as Fragfall eventually finds that player on 9 to 5. They're still in control of the map. They still have the power weapons to play with, but they still haven't got a grab on that flag.
No. They were very happy to get themselves a couple of kills, perhaps grab themselves some utility, but then didn't really capitalize on it. That could be a case of just playing it safe and smart, because, as you know, players can very much so sneak through on this map, pull a flag and just dip out. They want to prevent that and make sure that they can get forward again. Bullets in the back here. The one thing that I don't think Team Tilt are going to have at this point is going to be top mid control, and actually Vespa is just going to deal with a couple of kills. So it won't even matter in the end. And yeah, it's top mid control in 9 to 5 hands right now. It will be a flag touch, so it will stick around for a little bit longer, but essentially 9 to 5 are going to be allowed back in. I love this position that Stun has taken here. We will run with that name, Stun. But that top mid is so important here. It allows you to get to pretty much everywhere and a view over everything very, very quickly. And the big gunfight goes the way of level 50 XD. And I've seen some names in my time, but boy, oh boy, that's something.
Yeah, there's some big names in this game. Link E-Banks, level 50 XD. A lot of them. There's almost Xbox generated names, you think, sometimes.
Yeah.
But either way, it's been back and forth so far. On board with Link E-Banks, and now I'm going to call him Link. He's going to do some defense on the side of his map, take some shots down to the R, make sure that he gets pushed back towards his utility side of the map, and he's going to utilize this pressure, make sure he keeps this player one shot. He's not going to be able to escape, hopefully. He somehow does. I don't know how. The R13 111 However, I'm going to shorten that one. Managed to get away with that one in the end. But Link Ebanks has used that pressure. He's managed to push all the way across the map. He's got Slays in his own base. Now he's getting shots down on players on 95 in their base. And this allows his team to pull the flag, and they've almost got it across the map now. All Slays go on the side of 95. Bar Team Tilts. Link Ebanks still up alive. He has to play this one. That flag isn't going to go anywhere. It should be returned. In the end, Panther stun here on your screens. Just getting some Slays, making sure that no one on Team Tilt is going to get close to that flag. It should be reset now. That's a reset coming in. Now it's the time of 9-5 to get some pressure towards Team Tilt.
Yeah, you can see just biding time here. Okay, teammates, are you set up? Are you in position? And unfortunately, Stun gets a little bit too aggressive and will fall. That pull from Team Tilt was just... I kind of liked the play from Link initially. He managed to get up and over, get a kill, and try and cut off any pressure around his teammate carrying the flag. But because the rest of the teammates weren't ready for it, they were coming back off spawn. It just means that the flag carrier is completely outnumbered and isolated, unfortunately, so that doesn't come on through. They will stop the counter pull at least for now. So we're on board here with Fragfall. He's hitting his mid-map slides, currently 6 and 3, and he's going to try and help clean up top here. And this now allows them top mid control. Cam will be up in the next 25 seconds. They just lock this down for a little bit, get themselves into position, and it's an opportunity again. But this is a big gunfight, and Rusty Use here is going to allow him to just stay up and stay alive, and it's a nice kill that comes on through. But with it being traded, it just becomes messy. It's not clean, and right now you just both sides essentially just trading jabs. Nothing. No big right-handers landing so far.
Yeah, Fragfall needs to make his way back towards top mid. He is holding down this Hydra side. That camo's coming up right this moment. So he makes his jump just at the exact moment. Uses that commando to get some fire down on map. Electing not to go for camo. Probably a good play in this situation because he is just by himself. Doesn't manage to get away in the end. So we're on board with Harsh now. This is a player which I actually do know a bit about as well. He's the only player in the lobby that I've seen play before. He's been in a competitive side. He's been playing towards the end of Halo 5. Ooh. We can see on his screen, get some shots, win that nice 1v1. He's in position to potentially stop this flagpole coming through, but he doesn't need to because Link has managed to get the Slays, should be on the return. So Harsh says, actually, I'm going to push up towards your side of utility. Does get cleaned out, but it puts a pressure onto 9-5 once again. This game has gone back and forth. It's like a tug of war, 50-50. We see Vesper now with the heat wave. He's got to do some defense on the side of his map. The R's probably calling out players one shot, left, right, and center in that utility. Those nades don't hit anything, but the heat wave's coming through. He's going to get behind these two players here right now. Just see, get any connection towards the heat wave. Sees Harsh, knocks him down, takes him down with BR. Knows there's another player behind this side of the map, working with his teammate, gets the Slays in the end. Stun comes through. So nice defense. Heat wave still in the hands, and he's trying to decide to push up towards Hydro's side of the map now.
Yep, trying to lock down this preferred side. We spoke about it before. This is where teams are gonna want to rotate the flags through. And the thing is, Vesper will get some support from above, so teammate will arrive. And if Vesper can play his life here, he does enough. That's a massive... Oh my goodness me! I was roasting his name a minute ago, but that boy just made a play. Level 50 XD coming in, and he picks up a ridiculous double kill. Should not have gotten that second one onto stun. I genuinely thought Vesper had done enough there to make so that the trade would come on through. And yeah, Stun's gonna hope that we didn't see that one, but we did. It's top mid control locked down here, and we did just for a second there catch. I believe that's Camo coming back up soon, so a good time to have your top mid control, a good time to be able to... And again, Vesper is just going to take this mid here, and this could be a camo pull almost against the run of play.
Yeah, Vesper gets some nice shots down towards the players in the red team flag there. They are going to be pushed back, so there should be a camo grab. We're not too sure if it was in the end. He might have elected just to push forwards, so I'm not too sure. He did. I'm not too sure. Maybe leaving his teammates to get that flag, but camo, but instead Team Tilt grab it, and it's going to be level 50 XD. Those of you who have played Halo back in Halo 3 days, if you got to level 50, that's a general mark. So you almost calling this guy the general right now. 14 kills, 6 deaths. He's leading the way for his team. He's level 50. He gets the backpack, playing the sneaky play of the camo, killing spree in place, already getting shots down onto the R13. Make sure that he backs down. There's another player here. It's going to be Just Boom, gets taken down as well. Clean shots from level 50. Gets that flag grab across towards utility. This allows Fragfall right now a bit of freedom, a bit of a chance to get this flag all the way across the map if he doesn't fumble it. Nice little player, like the slide there. He's almost home and free. Can he get through the doorway? Yes, he can. This makes it so much more easier. Throw that flag grab, play your life a bit, but he's got the teammates around him. Doesn't need to even hold fire. Speeds that one straight in. That's 1-0 to Team Tilt. On the back of what level 50 did, Fragfall picked up that flag and ran it all the way home.
Yeah, level 50 going absolutely massive. He's currently 16-8, double positive. He made that huge play to defend his team's side not moments before, then going on an absolute tear at the other end of the map. Uses the camo to absolute perfection and ends up pulling the flag out in his team cap. So if you want to see individual moments, it is difficult in Halo to take over individually. It is a difficult game to do that, and he has absolutely popped off there. Then again, 9 to 5 will clear things out, and they have got a lot of map presence here as they look to try and set up. It'll be 2 for Vesper. Will it be 3 for Vesper? It will indeed, as he now locks this down and completely takes control. The pull will come, and it's only Harsh remaining. They know where he is. So all of a sudden, all the great work that was done by level 50 could be undermined because of that fantastic work there from Vesper.
Yeah, Vesper's been, I've seen him multiple times in this game go towards this top middle side of the map. It almost seems to be the place where he's the most comfortable, almost being the anchor, blocking down all the angles. This flag grabs all the way home, and it is 1-to-1. Panther stun, realizing that he didn't have a shield, said, actually, you know what, teammate? You grab the flag, you take this one. And in the end, it was a better play to make, because at half shield, you might have been taken down. That flag grab might have been in a trickier position to capture, but instead we see our game tied at 1-to-1 thanks to this man here, Vesper. And it was a good reaction play in the end. Team 9 to 5 for the first time down in this game. They managed to just regroup together, play those angles. I really like this top mid control. Once again, we see Vesper in this position, Enigma. He just roams around this top middle from P side to the utility side, just staying and making the slays, putting the shots down for his team. But at this point, his teammates are falling left, right, and center. He might need to rotate back towards his flag, as every single other player is going to be on the respawn side for 9 to 5. Instead, they elect to go for the overextend.
Well, one of the things about holding down this top mid does mean that he can get absolutely anywhere, and essentially it talks to his teammates. Okay, what's the play that we're going to make? It unfortunately won't matter because his teammates are losing all of their gunfights, and this looks like it should be a successful run for Team Tilt to take the lead yet again, and it does indeed come on through. So yeah, I like what Vesper's doing. He's taking the top mid part of the map, and it's a crucial area, but when in moments like that, his teammates can't all be falling, and unfortunately there they did. But Team Tilt won't care. They take the lead, they go back up. We have got 2 minutes 30 left on the clock. It is 2-to-1 in terms of score. It's another tight one and could go either way, and that's a big gunfight from the R1, who gets a double kill and is now pushed up. Opportunity presenting itself as Vesper gets in around the back. We've seen this guy pop off already so far today. Big kill. Now, can his teammates arrive? Because we've seen a couple of flag pulls so far this series, and it has been a little bit haphazard. Do we see support come on through? Oh, now where does he go? Unfortunately, it's just not great for them.
No, Vesper's once again left in this position by himself. I think that Vesper's playing really good angles with the heatwave in his hands. He's still alive in the enemy team's base, but his teammates can't get around him. It was the same thing when he was top middle. He was top middle by himself. His teammates were losing their gunfights left, right, and center. Doesn't matter if you're in the perfect position. If your teammates are falling, you can't really stay there anymore. You have to go and rotate back to where they've fallen. They might be putting pressure towards the map, but him staying alive in that situation means that he's pulled the flag once again. They've almost left him on the side of Team Tilt. They decided to push up on the map and maybe let him go too quickly. He gets the wingman in place, which is all the assists you want in the game. That's 10. But he's fumbling this flag left, right, and center. What is going on right now, Vesper? Get that flag back towards your base. Stop spinning around. Make sure it's delivered home and center. Even though he fumbled it twice, he still gets a flag cap, brings it back to 2-to-2. And what I can see right now is the R1 is already in the base. He does fall there from Team Tilt, but straight away off the back, Vesper's already pushing towards this heat wave in his hands. And he's already trying to lock pressure towards Team Tilt once again. We're tied at 2-to-2, and Vesper seems to be making the plays when he needs to get his team back in the game.
He does, and it is a lovely bit of movement there. The opposing team knew where he was at all moments, and instead he dips out and completely bamboozles and hits the double. Now he's pushed up. Now he's forward. And the entire enemy team are on this left-hand side. That's a triple kill, and unfortunately not the fourth, but has he done enough damage to allow his teammates to capitalize? Because now everyone essentially coming back off spawn for Team Tilt.
Yeah, nice shots there from Panther stun to get some slays towards the side of Team Tilt's back. There should be one set of slays, and 9 to 5 could get this flag grab away. The R1, that's a big kill right now. He pushes in, maybe a bit overzealous. Maybe heard a call out of a one-shot with his 2 players there from Team Tilt. Their defense is on point. Get that little off-rack, pick up that commando, get the kill with it. Look at Link Ebanks right now. He's going to try and put pressure towards Vesper. He gets taken down. Quality defense from Team Tilt now, but they still don't have map control. So Link, it's all well good getting these slays on your side of the map. That camo is going to not come through in time. Tie the game 2-to-2. That means we're going to go into overtime, baby.
We do indeed. And honestly, it's so tough to call. There's not really been a time where you can say this team is completely dominating. There's been brief periods where signs seem to be on top, but it's almost always answered back. These two teams were well and truly happy to just continually trade blows, and that nade could cause a lot of damage. And pushes up here. Vesper's just going to tuck himself. Vesper wins the gunfight. Beautiful stuff from him. Fragfall losing out. Things slow down, and this is the difference maker now. Any big mistake, especially at the start of a round, can be terrifying because there's always going to be consequences for making errors, for not making the best play. But in overtime, it amps up a bit. The heart rate goes a little bit quicker. The trigger finger becomes a little more twitchy. And right now, you can see that there is so much back and forth, and this is an opportunity now for Team Tilt to get a pull.
Yeah, none of your teammates remember a mistake you made in the first minute of a game, but every teammate remembers a mistake you make in overtime, especially if it leads to a flag grab. But we haven't seen any mistakes. We've just seen a good team play there from Team Tilt. They got the slays they needed to. They decided to push when they wanted to as well. I'm liking that bait there. You saw the nades fly in. He's dropped that flag down at a perfect time there, Link. I would have liked to see him take a different angle. He didn't need to stay in that doorway the whole time, but flag is now in the possession of Team Tilt. They've nearly got it home, but we see now coming through, Panther Stun does get the slay. There was a player on Team Tilt who was desperate about flag in the end, and he didn't need to. So now the reset comes in. We've got 3 minutes left on the clock as well. That's not that much time to play with. Camo's going to come up any second now. About 15 seconds till that is coming up. R1 in a good position to grab this one, but he might try and utilize the flag control of the map he's got, and instead he's getting whacked down by Link. Ebax coming out of nowhere, gives that clothesline across the face. No camo control yet from either team. No map control as it flip. The kills come back and forth from both these sides right now.
It is. It's super touch tight. The camera will be picked up, but does he get to pop it? No, he does not. I don't think so anyway. I couldn't see fully, but I don't think that ends up coming through. The R1 will try and pick it up. Oh my goodness me. Vesper playing cover. And yeah, it might have actually been used up because we don't see it in the hands of the R1. So I'm guessing at the second that Stun popped that, he was dropped. That means it's off the field. And now we have pressure from 9 to 5. Can they do something with it? Kill will come on through. But again, with Harsh picking up one, it's just messy. There's nothing super clean here. Harsh, though, not aware of the second player in this little cubby. Now, how do they play this? How do they get this out?
Stun being a bit of a guardian angel there for his teammate. He was down to one shot in a 1v1 with Harsh. Managed to get the slay. Can he get the punch onto Link? He can indeed. So Stun's making his work here. He's got control of utility. He's got control of the better side of the map. But again, his teammates are just falling around him. So no one can come and pick towards him side of the map. No one can get any help towards him. So he's almost left alone to try and hold down utility. And he can't do that for the whole game. That's not enough time for it. In the end, that flag grab was never pulled. So we've still got just less than 2 minutes left in this game. It's now the chance of Team Tilt to try and get some map control. We do have to deal with a couple of players towards this P side of the map. Level 50 getting some slays, Link as well. But there's players all over the place from 9 to 5. They still are putting pressure towards Team Tilt. They still can't get any flag grab going. Harsh now in a good position, top middle. He's going to try and get some shots down to any players spawned at the back of this 9 to 5 base. But the time is ticking. 1 minute 30 just under left in this game. They need to get some slays on board. They need to get a flag running. This is how you start it off. Harsh getting that first kill. Can he get the second one to stun? No, he can't. He backs away. Now Harsh finds himself in a bit of a tricky spot where he's left alone and alive. He does do the right decision, but I really like that play. Instead of trying to push towards the base, he elects to go back, try and regroup his team and shoot some shots towards Panther Stun, who's just off spawn. But Panther Stun gets the slay in the end.
He does. I agree. I like the play. There's some creative movement there, and it means that 9 to 5 lose track of him. But look at this opportunity, because as the R1 pulls this, he's going to have Stun in support. And are they aware that he's here? Because, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the teammates aren't there to support, and the flag will go down again. And Vesper's going to be the last one here to try and hold this challenge. And he will drop. And immediately, you can see what's on the minds here of these players. Let's try and get over the other side. Let's try and pull this on the counter as the players come back off the spawn. And there's just so much going on and around the back of the map. Harsh gets both. And Harsh will have an opportunity to pull this out. Gets the third as well. And this is now essentially a last run of the map. Now, how do 9 to 5 counter? Do they go for the flag themselves? And, oh, baby! Harsh is just happy to run with it and beat people down and get in his way as he is absolutely flying back to base. Unless there's something here. I don't know. It will indeed come on through. And that will be Team Tilt with the cap.
Oh, that's got to go on Harsh's highlight reel there. He got that triple kill. Then he gets the flag beat down. Once the flag is out of the map, it goes into a sudden death lockdown whilst that flag is not returned as well. That's what we saw. The time was ticking down. That 1 second went to 0. Sudden death came through. Harsh doing it all right at the end there. He had some big slays, some big kills at the end of it. But let's have a look at the stats on both sides. It was 2 players we mentioned a lot in that game. It was level 50 for the side of Team Tilted, and it was Vesper for 9-5. These guys, we always saw them in power positions. We always saw them almost being that guardian or that overwatch for the rest of their team, and it's translated into their slays right now.
It is, and both players that we saw, that we spoke about so highly, dropping so much throughout that. I mean, both players there nearly breaking 10k damage. At the end of the day, it will be level 50 who's the happier of the bunch because his team come on through in the end. And it wasn't even either of those players towards the end. It was Harsh who comes out with an absolutely massive play there at the end, picking up the triple kill and a beat down with the flag in hand. And we're going to get to see our series here. And we are currently sat with 9-5 winning our opener CTF on Aquarius. And we will next be moving on to Slayer on Livefire. Now, I spoke earlier with you about how Slayer is a great mode and how it really works well in Halo. But on this map, it plays out so differently to the other ones in our rotation.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw that earlier on in an oddball game. I know it wasn't necessarily the Slayer side of things, but Livefire almost... It's so reliant on... I mean, you've got the sniper rifle, which can be utilised, but it's so reliant on those team play systems as well. The time to kill is a lot higher in Halo compared to other esports, other SPSs. So that's where having that extra player with you, that extra damage, or the bait and switch, allows you to stay and play alive, allows your shields to just have that time to regenerate, back down, whilst your teammates coming in and putting pressure. We saw Vesper, we saw level 50. These guys are almost now, off the back of that first game, the ones to watch into this second one. Can we say any snipes now? We saw a couple good ones in our last series as well. But overall, these teams are now felt each other out. They know how good the other teams perform. They probably have a lot of individual gunfights during that time. So maybe they're looking towards how the weaknesses and strengths of their opposing opposition. They know it's going to be a close game either way. And the momentum on Livefire just switches in a moment. You see one team who might have 10 kill leads, and then suddenly the next team gets a couple round of slays because they know exactly where they're spawning. The map's small enough that a team can collapse relatively quickly and not allow another team to have any sort of moments on the map. Realistically, off the back of that one, Harsh has got to be feeling good. You've got to think level 50, yeah. He was on the winning side as well. The boys on Team Tilted definitely have the better vibes. But 9-5, they might be a new team. This is sort of like a good moment for them to sort of regroup. Remember, it's another game mode. You still get this one win, and you're only one win away from the series.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're still well and truly in this. And we are going to be looking at the likes of Vesper and level 50 to really slay out here because they did it so well in that last one. However, obviously, Slayer completely different to our objective modes. It just means a lot of players, how are they going to play? Are we going to see those tight-knit teams and executed plans come through, or do we see a lot more free roaming, free playing individuals who go to areas of the map that they like to play? Although it is all about winning essentially just gunfights, you've got to remember power weapon control, power position control. There isn't an objective in this, but there's so much to think about and control all at the same time, all dynamically, and as well as placing the opposition into an absolute hurt locker, you've got to make sure that you're securing the important parts of the map.
Yeah, and that's what I really like about Slayer and Halo as well. It really is not just, okay, right, we're just slaying. That's it. There's so many little things, little strategy, other power-ups, other power weapons on the map. Even you look at like the heat waves or the repulsor. Even if you have a repulse in your hand, you can occasionally get those times where you knock another team player off the map down towards green. That's something you can always look towards. All these little equipments, the mangler as well, the overshield. You've got so many different things to play with. And a lot of times, as you said, you do sort of see players become a bit more individualistic in Slayer, especially if it's a newer team as well. If you don't know your teammates, if you don't know how they play, you can sometimes a misstep a bit by thinking, actually, I want to go this way, but the team doesn't have your back in that position. But also, Slayer is a game where if you're going off, it's really going to cement your team. It's really going to push that momentum towards your side. I want to see another close game like we saw in that first one. It went all the way down to overtime. This has been a great series again. I can't believe the series we've had so far as we load onto this Slayer live fire. This is going to be a best of three, as we said at the start of this series. So if we see Team Tilted win this one, they win the series. They go through to losers round 6, and 9-5 go home. But if 9-5 win, it's going to go down to that last game. So it's going to be a big one here right now as we jump aboard with Vesper. He was one of the players we decided to highlight at the start. He's trying to battle towards his overshield. He does have Harsh, who's got a good shot on towards him, backs him down. Both players weak, but Harsh is for teammates in his favour. This OS should go on the side of Team Tilted off the bat of this one, and it's going to be Link who's got it as well. Camo, I do apologise, Camo in the side of Link. So he now has this Camo to play with. He has no team support, but he's going to be a bit sneaky right now. He's going to get towards the rest of his team, make sure he's not going to go overzealous and try and make a big play. He has that Mangler, has that little beatdown weapon in his hands, and he knows where 9-5 are. He's got the call-outs. He's going to come up behind one here. This is almost perfect play. Make sure he gets the back whack. Has some shots down onto Just Boom as well. I can't have a better Camo play from the start of Link there. He's played his life. He's played the numbers. He's got an assist and a kill off the back of that Camo.
Yeah, fantastic. Very patient. You're in towards the later stages of this losers bracket. It's very important matchups. And oh my goodness me. Okay, Link. Someone's feeling good about himself. Comes off the back of a huge Camo play. Extends himself out onto a 5. And at the same time, just some straight shooting. It's always a good thing to get when you're playing a bit of Slayer. As all of a sudden, Team Tilt are running over this one. Last game, super close. This one, you've already got a 9-kill lead. And make that 10 as the snipe comes in as well from Fragfall. Hits the head. So, at the minute, 9-5 have got to find a way to answer this back. And as we know in Slayer, live fire, you can see that complete swing of momentum. But you've got to lock down this Camo now if you're 9-5, or at least prevent it falling into the hands of Tilt.
Yeah, the sniper up with Fragfall here. I'd like his positioning right now. He's a bit left alone, but a nice snipe! Oh, Guardian Angel gets the shot down onto that player on 9-5. All of 9-5 fall around this overshield. It's going to be Fragfall who's going to pocket that one, stick it towards his chest, make sure he gets those extra shields. Sorry, the Camo once again. Camo sniper now in the hands. One shot left, doesn't hit it, but he's still got pressure down. Gets that kill onto Just Boom. Fragfall and Team Tilt are absolutely dominating this game. It's not even close. Has a different 9-5 turned up? Have they given their controllers to their younger brothers? They seem to have not turned up in this one.
No, not at all, not at all. It's difficult. I mean, we were speaking about Vesper last game out now. He's absolutely frying. He's currently 2-5. He's not enjoying himself at all. A couple of kills will finally be answered back. You get 2 on the board for 9-5 to try and slow things. Heat Wave. Okay, so this is one of those moments that we spoke about before. Can they now get a bit of advantage their side? Use these power weapons, use a bit of map presence, and, you know, manipulate a spawn system. These guys are supposed to be our higher level players. They're supposed to be able to understand what is going on and how to best control it. We're on board here with Stun. And as he backs off, you just see 2 teammates fall and give up that momentum that they had for just a moment. And 15 kills down. You've got a long way to get back into this road. You can't be having things like that happen.
Yeah, no, Stun almost, he was playing down towards bottom tunnel map. No players came that way, and what that left was him just by himself. The ninja doesn't come through from R1. Fragfall just watches him nearly jump off that tower, gets a beat down in the end. Last bit of desperation. You do like to see it when it comes through, but Fragfall knew exactly what was going on when that was going down. Camo's nearly up on the side of the map right now. We're on board as Fragfall tries to get a pinch, but around him his teammates fall as well. So that's 3 players down from Team Tilt. This is the first time 9-5 might be able to grab this Camo. They could maybe get some run off the back of this. We do see Panther Stun. He's away from his teammates right now. I'd like to see him rotate back towards them. Instead, he's just trying to play this green angle by himself. He's probably calling out to his team, please come and help me. They're too busy trying to deal with this Camo. And all the time that he's doing this right now, Enigma, he's not helping his team get that Camo. He is drawing attention towards him, I guess, which is a good thing. Level 50 should have just left him and gone towards the Camo side, helped his teammates, and Harsh here. Grab it. You see one of his teams there fly off the map, fly into the sky even. Harsh still alive right now. Does get cleaned up by Vesper. That Camo's still in play. Just Boom, Vesper set up to grab this one. It's going to be Vesper, the one we talked about. He's grabbed a couple kills since we last saw him, but he has not started the same way he finished that last game. Now the Camo in his hands, he has the time to play with, and he has that sneaky positioning right now. It's just been a bit of a protector for his team. 2 of his teammates are blocked in towards this bottom tunnel area. They are going to get cleaned up, but Vesper's getting the shots down towards towards these players, towards this tunnel. He jumps down himself, finds level 50, doesn't get that backpack, does get the headshot. So nice clean kill in the end. Overall, a decent camo play. I would have liked to see him utilise it a bit more in terms of get towards some of his more teammates and play some better angles. But he does get a couple of slays off back of it, but it's still a 14-kill game.
It is, and it's not a bad passage of play from 9 to 5, but because of that poor start, because they were so far down initially, it's just not going to have the big dent that they need to take out of this score. They need to do much more and make it a healthy chunk, and 2 more kills will come on through, so suddenly advantage is building. Now, we are, again, towards the later stages of the losers bracket. Now, do we see these players maturely play around the momentum? Do we see Team Tilt, okay, let's slow it down, boys, it's not working, it's not going our way? And do we see 9 to 5 up the ante, and you see the heatwave kill come on through? This is what you want to see. But at the same time, for Team Tilt, they've just got to try and get back together, understand the way this map is going. We might be leading now, but that could change very, very quickly as we see another camo appear on our screens just 20 seconds away.
Yeah, the camo might be another big play to make. Just boom, lost that gunfight there towards the end. That wasn't one he didn't want to lose right there. There's still a 10-kill game, so the slower you play it for 9 to 5, the less time you have to play with in terms of getting back in this one. Only 12 kills for Team Tilt to take this series, being a best of 3. So this is their last game they need to take. Camo's going to fall in the hands of Harsh. He grabs that one, he does die, but he utilised the camo. So Camo's not going to go to side of 9 to 5. But suddenly, a 4 down from Team Tilt brings this game back slightly. They've still got a lot to do if you're 9 to 5, but that's a start you needed. You need to get some slays eventually to close this game down. On board with Stun right now, he's trying to get his position towards his house. He's going to rotate around, run across. Moses, a player weak down here, turns around, takes down Link, and but he's got a player behind him and couldn't get away. So the trades come through from Team Tilt. They still hold this lead, this 8-kill lead. And they only need 8 kills themselves before they win this game.
They do. And this is the thing for Team Tilt now. You can just play. You can just turtle up. You can just play very much off the back of each other. Play for trades. 9 to 5 got to do something special. And I haven't seen the sniper around or a couple of the power weapons across the map. So I wonder whose hands they currently lie in. But right now, it needs to be 9 to 5 controlling it. As you see, Link perhaps getting aggressive there when he doesn't need to be. Stun will happily clean that up. And you don't want to be feeding kills in. You are still 7 up and you still have quite a bit of time on the clock. But make them come to you. Or at least make them make mistakes. Because right now, Stun and his boys are just going to try and figure a way to break this defensive setup. But it's got to be clean. Because any loss in kills, they're already past the 40-point mark. And this becomes messy.
Yeah, you look for a mature gameplay. You see that from Team Tilt. They just decide, you know what? Yeah. We've got the kill lead here. We don't need to make any plays. Link was a bit overzealous, but at that point, there's a famous Halo saying, right, which is you push and you can't lose. We're not at that point yet. That push could have caused deadly. They decide to actually realise after that kill came in, let's just slow play. Let's just make 9 to 5 push towards us. We'll hold our defensive angles. I'm not too sure what R1 was doing there. I don't think he should have stayed there. He did get the nice trade in the end, but trades don't win games when you're 8 kills down. Enigma. There's only 3 kills left. We're on board with level 50. He has that sniper. Conveniently has 3 shots left in it as well. Can he get any headshots towards any of the players? Right now he's deciding just to play a little bit more defensive. Make sure his players root out any players on 9 to 5. 9 to 5 across the map. They're looking towards this house side of the map. R1 does get one back, but it's going to be 2 sets of clean squad wipes if 9 to 5 are going to come back into this game. And such a late time now. It might be push because you can't lose. 49-40. Can you end it with a snipe? Bit overzealous, but Harsh gets the kill in the end. 50-42 to Team Tilt. They go and win our series 2-0 in the losers bracket round 5. Good showing from 9 to 5 in that first game. Towards the start of that second game, they just couldn't get it going. And in the end, that's effectively what lost them the game. They couldn't get back from that amazing start which Team Tilt had.
Yeah, I think at one point it was like, what, 20 to 5 or something?
I think it's 22 to 5.
Right. So, yeah, we had Team Tilt come out and absolutely thrive. Throughout the rest of the game, 9 to 5 seemed to play pretty well, honestly. But I do really love what Team Tilt did at the end there. You took that maturity that I was asking for, that I really wanted to see. You know, boys, we are leading this. We can outshoot these guys, but we don't have to. We just have to play for trades. We can afford to play standoff scenarios. We can afford to burn the clock and all of that. As long as we're not giving up too much around map and weapon control, we can just play this nice and cautiously. So I'm a big fan of it. They do that fine and they come out on top. The scoreline will not look as pretty, but it doesn't matter. It will say 2-0 on the end of the series anyway. Really, really good series. I'm actually gutted that we missed out on Oddball Streets, though. I love that map mode combination.
Yeah, it could have been another dream cast once again there, Enigma. 2 games so far, and they have not disappointed at all. We've had some really hot contested games so far. Team Tilt move on. They go into the losers round 6 now, and it's gonna be another grueling gauntlet, as you said beforehand. Level 50 again. Just to touch on him again, he had about 4.5k damage overall in 2 games. He knocked about 14,000 damage in between those 2 ones. So realistically, he's the player to look for. He's the slayer. He is the game changer for Team Tilt. I think we're going to be following along Team Tilt as well as they go through the losers bracket into this round 6 game. So another time to see and showcase a talent. They're probably going to be running happy after that 2-0 win. It could have easily been 2-0 towards 9-5, our lowest seed. So far, 2 games in Enigma and 2 quality ones we've had so far to cast.
Oh, no. Absolute belters. I thought, I'll do my first bit of Halo Infinite casting. I'll get to go into this nice and easy breezy. Not a chance in hell. This has been some fantastic series so far. And you're right, by the way, about that Team Tilt 9-5. If 9-5 have a better start in your Slayer and come out on top of that initial pull exchange scenario in the Aquarius CTF, they go through there just to show the tight gaps that go on. And you can see the excitement and the momentum that end win, that overtime win from Team Tilt gave them when they came out absolutely all guns firing in the live fire Slayer. So could have been a very different series. Team Tilt won't care. They will move on, and I do believe we're staying on board with them. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they do. And level 50 is going to be the boy that I want to keep an eye on. He had an absolutely outrageous Aquarius CTF. Live fire Slayers was still fine, but all across the board, they did a good job. So yeah, I want to see again, is he going to continue to be a big part of his team's success when it comes to those objective modes?
And who they're playing in this losers round 6, right? I think you got a bit more insight potentially on this one, Enigma. They're playing a team called SSSM. They played in our Europa Halo Kickoff Cup yesterday, and they have some former Call of Duty players. They've got Sam Baldy and Styles. I'm not too sure if you're familiar with these names. They're some of the competitive COD players from the EU side. But we've seen a lot of Call of Duty players transition across to Halo. Some have already found clean success as well. It's nice to see a lot of Call of Duty players sticking their hand in Halo as well. Do you know these 2 players? If you do you know any sort of competitive history of them at all? If not, though, have you seen any Call of Duty players which have impressed you so far in Halo Infinite?
Individually, I do not know these 2 individuals, no, but it's very good to see those players come through and get to the later stages of these tournaments. It's great to see. In terms of individuals that have come over from Call of Duty and done very well, I mean, I was watching the Europa Halo Kickoff Cup yesterday, and we saw the team of Team Twisted, PT Detain, Nolson, Disarray. They won it overall, and they beat out Kitty Crew in the final, one of the teams that got through to the I lost the word of it, to the Pro Series, and they are very much so a side that I'm keeping an eye on. They've got fantastic history throughout Call of Duty. I think back to the start of last year and when we were playing Cold War, PT won cups last year. So he's a very talented individual. All 4 of those names are well known with a stacked history in European Call of Duty. So very much so a squad to keep an eye on. You've got Dave and Co, who are another good bunch. So yeah, I don't know these 2 individuals in particular. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on though. But yeah, it's really good to see these boys come over and show that they can learn and have such a ceiling to their skill set.
Yeah, absolutely. I did get the chance to cast these guys, and you mentioned Kitty Crew, who one of our teams which made it through to Pro Series. They placed top 12 overall in the last HCS Pro Series just this early on this week. And Sam Baldy and SSSM, they managed to take an oddball round off of them as well. They managed to still hold a good enough stead that it went all the way around to round 3 and oddball. It was a best of 3 series, which was won out 2-0 to Kitty Crew in the end. But overall, we can see that just by taking that round off of the highest skilled squad, that they do have that translatable skill. Call of Duty and Halo, we've seen it before. You've seen Halo players come across the Call of Duty. You got Shotzi, you got Neptune off the top of my head. You've had Hugh who's gone to COD to Halo to COD. He's just gone back and forth.
Frosty
as well. He went and he's back in Halo now as well. So you've got a lot of players who have made that jump both ways. A lot more now from Call of Duty players coming across to Halo. So it's just one of those ones where once you know the fundamentals, once you know the team play, which a lot of this, which is translatable across all of these FPS esports, just find them out initial sort of couple of weeks to build a team around and just to get a standing, and you're already going to be at a high level. I'm really impressed with that Call of Duty squad of PT, Detain, Disarray, and Nolson as well, because they are 4 Call of Duty players. A lot of Call of Duty players, a lot of Halo players come across and they play with veterans in the scene. These guys said instead, you know what? We're just going to come across as a 4, and we're going to see how we get on. But we've got our maps now for our losers round 6. We're staying on board with Team Tilt, who we've just seen in the last series beat down 9-5. They're moving on now to play this SSSM, this Call of Duty player rosters. And this is going to be Live Fire Strongholds, Aquarius Slayer, and Bizarre CTF. So another best of 3. We're starting on board with that Live Fire Strongholds. What sort of things are you looking for in this map here, Enigma?
Apologies. So when I was listening there, so it's Live Fire Strongholds, Aquarius Slayer, Bizarre CTF.
Yes.
So Live Fire on Strongholds. So Live Fire is an odd map to me throughout the rotation, but one of the things that is absolutely massive here is how open it is, how many different places you can really just isolate if you play the game correctly. If you do if for example you talk about controlling tower, you very much so got essentially a whole beeline down through dummies to cover over that you just don't really get from the opposing side. So I do want to see, who starts on what side. Do they try and flip it, or do they just try and hold it? Because I do think that particularly that tower side, you have a lot of advantages there. But that being said, you often see that garage green combo be stuck together because of where you can transition and route into really easy. So again, I want to see initially off the start here, do we see teams try and flip each other out, or do we see one team go, no, we want to keep this side over here, boys. You can have that one.
Yeah, I think Strongholds is all about, I think that the best Strongholds teams know when to hold a setup and know when they're just, you know what, we're going to rotate, we're going to go and try and cap towards maybe the weaker side of the map. We saw it earlier on Recharge Strongholds when you said Zeus made the play where he realized, actually, the best thing for me to do is put pressure towards the enemy team's Stronghold. Even if they don't cap it, he still put that pressure, turn the heads back towards his team. I want to see those individual plays, sort of those push plays where you might have AB, but realize you're going to lose your A side and rotate around towards C, make sure we still have momentum just to get another attack towards that A side again. These teams haven't matched up as far as I know in the cup so far, so these two teams probably don't know too much about themselves. We've had Team Tilt on the stream so far. We know the sort of similar gameplay they're going to go into. They do play a good team game, and we mentioned level 50 before. We also know the likes of Harsh as well. He did those individual plays. Both I saw him hold down Camo towards the end of that game on Live 5 I just played, and also towards the start, pushing towards the CTF, get him that triple kill and pull him a flag all the way back as well. I'm excited for this one. If it's anything like the first 2 series we've had so far, it's going to be another hoot, especially as you get towards these later parts of the losers bracket. Now into round 6. Again, this is a best of 3. So it's only going to be potentially free modes. We are going to jump to a quick break just quickly whilst we get everything set up, but we'll be back shortly. Hello everybody and welcome back to the EU HCS Open series. We've been going through some absolutely quality series so far, and there's been so many teams. We're going down now to the last few. These are nearing your HCS Pro Series spots. Top 8 here go through to that coveted HCS Pro Series. Only the top 16 overall European teams will be on that one. Those who are joining, I'm Joe Sketch, joined here by Enigma. And Enigma, so far we've had some amazing series, as I said, but we've been following this team now, Team Tilt. We saw them in their last game. They beat 9-5, 2-0. It was a close one. They're moving through now to Triple SM. For those of you who watched our Europa Kickoff Cup last time, we casted a Triple SM game. These are some competitive Call of Duty players making their trade or their switch across to Halo. And we talked about it a bit before the stream. We'll talk about it a bit now as well. That transition is you'd like to see it. You like to see these players come across towards the Halo side of things, and it's clearly worked as well, hasn't it, Enigma? They're all the way through to losers round 6, only effectively 3 wins away from that Pro Series.
Yeah, Very close indeed, getting yourself within touching distance. And you can see the work that these teams have been putting in. I mean, just yesterday we had the Europa Halo Kickoff Cup, and this side, I believe, came top 12. So, you know, clearly putting in the time, playing through the different tournaments, putting in the work in order to try and learn everything that there is about Halo. I mean, I'm just trying to cast it. There's a million differences. Trying to play at a competitive level, incredibly difficult when you're moving over. But they are indeed through to the later stages and a couple more rounds to go until you make that top 8, obviously qualify for our Pro Series. And starting off, we're going to be Stronghold on live fire. And one of the things here is there's so much open space, so many different ways to play this one out. And I really want to see how they do it off the break.
Yeah, on board with Millsy from SSSM for start here as he makes his way towards B. Does get some clean shots down towards Fragfall there. Cleans him up. This should be an easy take for B straight off the start. They do get a better setup. They do get that A side. They do get B side. Straight off the bat, they already push their kills. They already get some slays across the map. This is a quality, it's a textbook start almost with SSSM. They get the 4 slays. They get the 2 strongholds they need. Now it's all about holding it. Millsy right now is playing a little sneaky corner right here. He's still playing towards the green side of the map. We're going to jump on board with Sakana as well as he rotates towards Millsy on this B side. There's not been a lot of slays so far. There seems to be players playing a bit more passive, maybe trying to wait and get those initial gunfights, pick out some slots. And it seems to be that it's trades are going back and forth. But at the moment, it's just helping SSSM because they still have control of the map.
They do, and they clearly have a way about playing this. Sakuna's gone and taken that position now, and it was Millsy a moment ago. Just getting that corner, just tuck in nice and tight, and then deal with any pressure that comes in on through. So with 2 kills down, 2 bodies on either side. Snipe will be in the hands of Sakuna, and for now, you're just going to be quite happy. Hosh has snuck on through, though, so something to deal with here that we haven't seen so far. Can SSSM clean this out nice and tidily? They do. The kill comes on, and they just go back into a setup now because they have had to drop off a little bit. Immediately, you can just see there's nowhere really for Team Tilt to go. They did spawn on that C side. There's what some people might consider the more difficult side. And Sakuna hits one, looking for the second. Perhaps a bit over-aggressive there, was really feeling himself. But yeah, this is nice and tidy from SSSM, who can show us exactly what they've been learning and practicing and figuring things out.
And all of these deaths coming through from Team Tilt, just in effect, they make everything more and more sporadic. They really don't want to keep falling, and they can keep doing so as well. Each time you're on that respawn screen, it's just more and more seconds on the side of SSSM. They'll look down to the bottom of their screens and see 103 to 0. Triple cap in place as well. On board with Sakana, that last snipe shot doesn't hit any faces, but he still has pressure and control towards this top mid. Opting to back down just a bit, just to play with his team slightly. They know exactly where Team Tilt are right now towards this A side of the map. He's trying to hold his position, does get the repulsor out, does get a nice nade, doesn't get the cleanup once again, but again, all this map control is on the side of SSSM. Eventually, Team Tilt do get out of his spawn trap, and the fact that they've done this, they do get momentarily a triple cap on the back, but I think that it's only be a short-lived one right now, as SSM have already repeated their initial setup at the start of this game, trying to get towards this B and A side. Harsh coming through the nice defense there to get some time, to get some breathing room right now for Team Tilt. It's 30-odd seconds now in a row, Enigma, they've got some points on the board.
Yeah, so it's one thing to come out and have a fantastic start, but now the questions are starting to be asked, how do you respond? And Style here's got a big gunfight to deal with. He will indeed win it. Can he just play his life for a moment and allow his teammates to arrive? He steps out, will fall, and Fragfall will be here to pick up 2. Can he pick up a 3rd? Does he even need to challenge it, or can he just dip on out? Problem is, he's sandwiched. He will fall. So now it's a scramble, and it's a mad one, because this, you feel, is an important moment in this matchup. It's been kind of calm, kind of playing off each other, and all of a sudden, it's just accelerated, gone up a notch. The cap for B will come on through, and right now, if you're Team SSSM, you're very happy to be taking B from C side, and then able to just essentially flip in for the preferred A setup.
Here we go, Sakana with that sniper rifle. He's just trying to look for some heads. Harsh might line up. Ooh, just backing down. And in fact, the fact that he was distracted there by Harsh trying to get that headshot means that coming from behind, Fragfall gets that naded, cleans him up as well. I like this response here from Team Tilt. They were 100 points down to 0 at one point. They managed to get some travel back in their side, get some map control as well. They keep getting triple caps, which puts pressure towards SSSM, which means that they're always trying to react to what Team Tilt are doing as well. We'll jump on board with Millsy, man. He's going to be trying to capture his C, but he's got to get past Link first to do it, and Link gets some crisp, clean shots, wins that 1 versus 1. Nice play from him to get and control that C base. And with teammates already at A just a moment, they're still scoring some points there.
Yeah, Sakana made a great play there with the camo, capturing B from a relatively obscure position, and then just pops out and wins the gunfight, gets his team in for A. So there's a fantastic job there to stop all the momentum that was building for Team Tilt, because that got scary for a second. millsy will take, again, that little corner position. They like it. They clearly just understand it. I'm surprised that Team Tilt haven't really just started to check that. I suppose if you're getting shot at from mid-map, it's kind of difficult, but that's why the setup works. You're constantly looking inward and not checking in behind you, and it's just working. You're seeing millsy at the minute, by the way, 15-4. God, my man's frying. He's absolutely popping off, and he's going to get damage into Harsh as well. Into power here towards back green, and the thing is, for just a second, as two bodies here fall, gonna have an opportunity for Team Tilt to get themselves back in this.
Yeah, I like the play from Link and Fragful there. They just sped across that yard side map, got into a position where they can hold back and try and capture that B. Really good decide of control here on this nest side of the map, because you know exactly where the other team is spawning right now. You can see this from Team Tilt's point of view of Link. You can see the players of SSSM spawning that back tower or towards that dummy side of the map, and already off the spawn, Link gets shots on towards him. Instead, he's opting now towards go down to this bottom middle of the map. He's in a nice 1 versus 1, and Sam Baldy cleans him up with a Mangler BR combo. Level 50, the general here, XD, takes down millsy man, gets control of his tunnel, needs to get towards his teammates right now. They are losing points. They do not have control of the map. This tunnel position isn't where you need to be. You need to get towards, trying to get towards the B side or C side of the map. Trades are coming back across right now, Enigma, and all these trades have benefited Team Tilt, who've once again got control, but it's a bit of a shaky setup right now. Sam Bold is behind enemy lines right now. He's hunting down the likes of Harsh, the like of Linked, from the back, from where they don't expect it. This Mangler in his hands gets the 3 shots into him, gets the cleanup onto Link. Nice play from him. This should allow his team to open up this B side and get this capture.
Yeah, absolutely. I like it as well, because for a second there, he just stands on A. Just for half a second, gets that progress bar to start moving. And that means if you're Team Tilt, you're going to have to prioritize A. You do not want to give up your home flag and risk the flip out to C. And then when he decides, okay, well, I'm actually not going to go A, I'm going to go B, buys him the time to go and get the capture. Teammates arrive and cleans it up nice and tidily. And this is an example of the kind of high-level play styles and moments and decision makings in games of chess that these guys have to play at this level. And Sakana hits another nice snipe, and that will be a shield, and that's another one. And currently Team Tilt are just sat over on that dummy side of the map with very little utility in hand and chasing this one.
Yeah, Sakana right now still got 5 shots to work with in this sniper. They have B control, they have C control. He's playing a sneaky sort of pillars route here, but if you look at the kill feed, that says it all. millsy with 2, Baldy with 1. That's 3 down for Team Tilt. There's the 4th one down. That's a clean 4 dead. They're going to be all spawning back towards A. Styled already has the pressure on A. This is going to be a trip cap any second now, but they might have been a bit too over-eager to get that A side, because they've allowed Team Tilt to spawn towards B, spawn towards C side, and get a cap and almost flip the map towards their favour right now. Harsh getting a nice kill there. Shout out to him, shutting down that sniper rifle. He's still on the map. You can see it on Fragfall's POV for a second. Repulsor comes out, but he gets the kill with the help of Link. He notices the sniper's there. Sam Baldy gets cleaned up, and he's going to get that one. So Fragfall now, with sniper in hand, doesn't quite get the clean shot onto there, but they have control. But if you look at the score, only one more double cap from SSSM and they could win this game. So it's going to be a close one right here. Team Tilt need to play some perfect Halo.
You absolutely do, and you look at players like Harsh, like Level 50, who popped off in our previous series, and you got to get more from them. And it just shows how good SSSM have been at the shutting down these individuals and just making life very, very difficult, as about 19 grenades land in Harsh's lap. Fragful here is going to have to play his life a little bit. He's going to have to buy some time, because right now he's kind of isolated from the rest of his boys. Does he play this corner? Does he tuck in for nest? And the grenade will catch, so he's going to have to be very, very careful. But look at SSSM. They've gone straight through. They're running around towards A side. And Sam Baldy here, essentially just a nuisance rather than anything else. The cap comes in. And yet again, you can see what SSSM want. They want that AB setup. Yeah, and it seems that SSSM always do this rotation towards A. Well, that's their preferred way to retake B. They go to A first. They get that home base. And then they take B from the preferred side. We saw Fragful there. He did a good job of holding down that little nest corner, which we've seen utilised quite a few times on this map.
But at the end of the day, they hold B, but they didn't hold A and C. Team Tilt still scoring, but this is the time when Millsy Man can help his team right now to capture this B side of the map. They do get it in place. They have B and C. They have 5 seconds, 5 more points to get. And this should be a game over right now. The Heatfall goes under Millsy Man. Can he get the double kill? Yes, he can. Make that a triple potentially. No, just shy of that. Gets him down to 1 shot. But this is game. This is all she wrote. Triple SM go up 1-0. And at the start of that game, Millsy Man, he impressed us, and all the way through, ending 21-9, 1-0 up in the series to Triple SM.
Yeah, and all built off the back of that fantastic start. I did say the way this map works, you really want to find out, you know, are teams that spawn on that C side capable of flipping things out or taking control of C and B, which is a difficult hold to have? It turns out, no. There was all the answers in the bag there for Triple SM. And you saw, like, throughout the game, you saw it towards the end, they were just like, we're not even going to play for B from C side. We're just going to Hail Mary it straight to A and take it from there and make life very difficult for you. And do a fantastic job. You spoke about Millsy. Man had an absolutely fantastic game. Yeah, the amount of damage he's putting out, the amount of damage he's taking. I mean, you understand then why he finishes 21-9 and 13 assists as well. He's contributing across the board to his entire team and what they wanted to do. You look across to the other side, level 50. In the last series, he was phenomenal. We spoke about him over and over and over again. Finishes 10-18 there. A player of that quality being shut down like that just shows how dominant this really was for Triple SM.
Yeah, especially at the start of the game, they couldn't get anything going, and when you go 100 points down, it's so hard to get back into the series. Locking on board there, Triple SM do take that first strongholds as well. Millsy Man, just a bit, another shout out to him. He got the perfect triple. He got the most kills, least deaths, most assists. That is potentially, if you've gone off in a game, that's what you're getting from there. We're going to jump on board and go towards our second game, Slayer Aquarius. So, Triple SM, they dominated in the slays, they dominated in the objectives, they dominated across the board on just general map control. Team Tilt, they had their moments in that last series. We know what sort of Halo they can play. We know when these guys are on fire. You can get those individual plays from Harsh. You can get those individual plays from level 50. But the teamwork just wasn't there. Going towards this Slayer now and Aquarius as well, where all the Slayer games are so heavily based on where your team are on the map. Triple SM definitely have the advantage.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. I guess it's low-hanging fruit as a caster, but I'm going to take it. I guess it's whether they live up to the name. Do they tilt? Do they fall apart here? Do they kind of capitulate a little bit? They have fallen to the losers bracket and then gone deep into it. So, you know, we've seen that they're very momentum-based and at times can overcome difficult obstacles. What I need to see from them in this next game, they lock down camo, they lock down a lot of your close-range weapons, and they take the fight to Triple SM. They're not too cautious about things, but I also want to see that maturity. The last time we saw these boys play a Slayer, they took a massive lead against 9-5, and then when they needed to, they just shut the pace down, played for trades, played that set pseudo formation. I want to see them do that again, not tilt and become this team that just essentially free plays.
Yeah, I mean, the comms, unfortunately, we can't listen to, but you can see when a player is tilted because they'll be pushing like the one shots, which are getting away from them a bit too much. They'll be playing a bit too individual as well on the map. This is a fresh one, really. Again, Team Tilt win this game. They only have 1 win away from the series. That's the advantage of best of 3. Yeah. The disadvantage, if they lose this one, they're going home. They had a bit of a tough one in the stronghold. Slayer, a completely different ball game as well. Let's try and get some... If I was Team Tilt, I want to get off to a great start here. Maybe try and utilize that camo, get some slays on board. Try and get early map control, not just stay in your base at the start. So we're on board with Link right now. He's doing a good job in terms of pushing towards his P side. Can't see any players. No one's home right now. Makes it towards his top mid side of the map. Camo in play. Nice little whip. Headshot onto Styled right there. Link gets the camo. This is a good start here from Team Tilt. He needs to stay his life. Doesn't need to push this gunfight. He's got 2 players and he can't get the second one as well. So camo off the map. Link does get 1 kill. When you've got camo, you realistically need to get at least 2 kills to utilize that power up to a good ability.
Yeah, no, to justify it 100%, you're completely right. It was a tough one there for Link because as much as he has camo on and he's popped it in order to ensure he doesn't drop it to anyone, you've also got this scenario in front of you unfolding where you can go for a massive play. Nearly makes it happen. Does an okay job. His team will be in the lead. Not too much to worry about. And this is one of those scenarios now where everyone's just going to kind of wait. Who can we isolate? Who can we pick off? And at the minute, it looks like they know where they want to go. It's Fragful in a lot of trouble. Oh, the grenade will pick him up. The dynamo does indeed pick him up. So it's a trade come through, but his teammates are doing enough. You can see 2 down for the Triple SM, and the Triple SM players are currently stuck in this back left corner. Will do just enough to keep themselves up.
Yeah, what I've already noticed about this Team Tilt team as well, on board with Harsh, there's a lot more team play. I can see on this map as well. They seem to always be in or near each other. Right now, though, Harsh decided to make a bit of an individual play, trying to find this player who he thinks he's made weak with a disruptor. You can see right there, he had a teammate just by himself, just down below on that utility side of the map. He's almost trying to speed across towards where his teammates are calling out these weak players. With that thruster in hand, misses and whiffs the melee. That is unfortunate. That's something you want to connect right there, because he's been cleaned and knocked out himself. A back-to-back melee there on the side of Sam Boldy. Now they have setup, but now they have this P side of the map as well. And top mid control, they understand exactly where Team Tilt is spawning. Team Tilt, they're playing this one a bit slow. They're not trying to give away their lives, which is a good play overall, but you still need to make sure that you're utilising map control, because right now, Star picks up 2, both assisted by Sam Boldy, and that's 3 down once more just off this map control, which SSM have.
Yeah, Camo is here. I thought I heard it pop for a second, but it looks like they will indeed pull it out. They will get away with it for just a second, but does... I think it was Baldy who had a hold of it. No, Style. Did he manage to pop it, though? Not 100% sure, but that exchange actually does not necessarily go the way, but Sakana will take that and gets a grenade. And the thing is, when it comes to players like level 50 who want to be aggressive all the time and want to get up in the face of the opponents, it makes it so difficult when you're up against disciplined opponents who are happy to play trades, happy to play angles, or clean things up with trailing grenades. And all of a sudden, whilst it looked like Team Tilt were getting themselves into a nice little position here, Triple SM have extended out to a 6-kill lead. And that is looking very good right now as Team Tilt continues to struggle to find ways to open them up at all. It's frustrating, and there's just nothing clean about this.
I talked about it right at the start where I was impressed with Team Tilt because they played as a team, but as this game spirals out of control, I can see more and more individual plays. If you look on the assist right now, top left of your screen, you've got that 13 assists from 20 kills on SSM. That's how much of a team cohesive unit they are as well. I just want to see some regrouping from Team Tilt, try and get towards some top mid control. You see right now, level 50, he's in a bit of a tricky spot towards this Hydra. He does have a heat wave in his back pocket, decides to pull it out, get some shots into Millsy. That's going to be cleaned up by Link. It's a nice play. He's going to rejoin with Link now as they work towards this blue side of the map. Get some shots down to Sakana, but he's going to be cleaned up. Can Sakana get the second kill as well? He can. So 2 kills for a price of 0 there, Sakana, and he might have a heat wave in his back pocket too. So nice little clean up play from Sakana. And realistically, whatever Team Tilt are doing right now, it just doesn't seem to work. They seem to be trapped at one of the bases and just trying to play out and try and make these defensive kills come through. Triple SM have control of the map. They have control of the game right now, and something needs to switch to get Team Tilt back into this one.
Yeah, you're right, it does. And you have these moments where I feel like Team Tilt, you know, they're kind of relying a little bit on individual skill. And well, if you're going to do that, then you've got to isolate opponents. I don't see much of that. And then if you're going to, you know, end up losing 1v2 fights as well, it's just not going to go your way at all. So Sakana here doing a great job. He's been absolutely fantastic, by the way, throughout this series, I feel. He hit a couple of flashy ones last game. This one just disciplined, like there. He knows where the opponents are, plays his life, calls out to his teammates, and arrives for the support and the cleanups. And it's another 2 kills to Triple SM and 1 towards Team Tilt that just makes things very, very comfortable for them. And right now, this is very cozy for Triple SM as Team Tilt, they just need to try something different, try something new, or they're going home.
Yeah, absolutely. Sakana, we've seen him on our screen now for quite a while, just with his Heat Wave BR combo, holding down the close quarters parts of the map, with the thruster in his back pocket as well, with as that utility on the map. He does eventually get taken down, but he did his job throughout that whole time he was alive. He gets the killing spree. He utilised everything he had. He managed to get some key Heat Wave kills, close combat as well. And when Team Tilt are trying to make these pushes towards utility, and they had to deal with Sakana, it was just a tricky one. Right now, we're on the board of level 50. We talked about him before in this last series. He has started this one pretty hot so far. His teammates maybe not on the same wavelength, as he's just by himself right now. He's getting some shots towards Mills, he's getting some shots towards Sam Boldy, but he's in a 2 versus 1. Managed to make it count, managed to get the 1 beat down. Harsh picks up the other one as well. So nice couple set of slays. He's now regrouped with Harsh as well. Gets some shots across the map towards Sakana, but he needs to push towards this P side, see who's over there, see if he can get some shots down. It's going to be Styled. He's going to be playing this little corner here. He decides to challenge and backs down towards this P side of map. Needs to get some elevation. He's going to try and regroup with his team right now. Get some shots down towards Millsy. Nice shots here. Decides to back down, play his life a bit longer. Maybe got a call out somehow. There's a player around him. He's playing sneaky, playing all of the angles he can. He's in a bit of a tricky situation. He can't really decide to afford to push out without getting shot. Just get some shots into Mills. He just get a clean up onto him. So that's a nice good kill there. Nice to do one versus one. This game is still a 7-kill game though. So realistically, his next set of slay is going to be crucial towards Team Tilt, and he does pick up another one here. So level 50, proving that he has still got that good quality slaying ability, which we saw earlier on in the last series. He's picking it up for his team. He's 12 kills for 6, and he's making some individual plays right now towards the blue team. Blue base here, sees Millsy behind, should be a backpack, cleaned out, finds his other player here, just be a double kill for level 50. He is going on an absolute tear whilst we've been watching him, and his teammates almost work around him, get the perfect pinches that they need to do. 14 kills, 6 deaths, and it's only a 3-kill game now, Enigma.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. I was saying they needed to try something different, and level 50 decides, okay, then I'm going to essentially play an assassin in the back, and just buys his time, slowly prodding away at the defense, moving this SSSM team around, pushing them into places that they don't want to be. And that's probably the first time we've seen him be over aggressive in about 3 minutes, and he's a guy that likes to get aggressive. So he's done a fantastic job there for his team as they played around him a little bit, but don't let it unravel now. SSSM extend it back out to 5 kills, and that's a whole wipe that you're needing to get yourself back to touching distance. So right now they just need to slow it down for a second. It's a good kill from Link, but the lead is still against them. Plenty of time left for them to try and think of something. Do you send another player off on a mission somewhere to try and rotate this map again? But you got to be wary of Camo here. I feel like that if they can get all of this Camo, that gives them an opportunity to get back into it. Perfect is great, but his 2 teammates arrive, pushing Fragful. He's got to play this carefully. Every death now is absolutely a dagger in the back to the chances of this comeback.
Yeah, nice shots there from Fragful. He realises he was in a 2 versus 1, backs up to his team, does get the kill there, and he has played his life pretty well, but it's only 4 kills. You can't afford to let any trades come through at this point. If you're Team Tilt, you still need to get another 4 clean dead to get back into this one. Level 50 with that heatwave in his pocket. He's playing quite passively, but I understand why. He doesn't want to be too aggressive on this side of map whilst his teammates are still all around him. Harsh does get the camo potentially. He does get away with his life somehow. Gets camo and away with his life despite being looked at by all 4 players of SSSM. He's now got the game in his hands. His teammates are falling around him. He's got to make some sort of play work. Gets for 1 kill, gets for 2 kill. That's what he needed to do, but he gets cleaned up. It's a 1-kill game now, Enigma. It's SSSM have to get 1 more trade, 1 more slay. And throughout this whole time, Team Tilt have just been pushed back towards this base. They've barely been moving. There's not much time they can have. There's not much control of a map they have at all. It makes it so much more trickier. SSSM know exactly where Team Tilt are. Right now, level 50, he still does have that heatwave. He's got a bit of thruster as well. So he does have some stuff to play with, and he knows exactly where these 2 players are from SSSM. But also, time is ticking. It's now only a 2-minute game. 2 minutes have gone by very quickly, and they still need to make a couple of pushes forwards. They can't be too grateful to hold themselves out in those little corner for too long. Millsy man decided to back away. It's all little sporadic gunfights, all not going anywhere, but it's going to be in the end. Sam Boldy's sliding through, shooting down the head of level 50. They get it done eventually. SSSM win our series 2-0, but Team Tilt, they just seem to fall apart at the start of the games and bring it back towards the end, but it's just not enough, Enigma.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They seem to start so slowly there. SSSM would come out and run things up and do such a great job, and then essentially just hold, play for trades. You know, I've spoken about how Halo can be a game of chess at times. If you're taking away power pieces from the opponent, you're then just happy to play essentially some even game, and they were more than happy to do that. It looked very, very good for a moment there as Team Tilt built themselves back into it. They level 50 again, kind of played around him and made some fantastic individual plays. But other than that, there just wasn't enough. And got to give it to SSSM. They looked very, very solid throughout that, especially thinking about that live fire strongholds at the start. They knew exactly what they wanted to do, and they had various ways of going about and executing it. And we look at the stats here. You do have to feel for level 50. The man put up a great performance, goes 16-9 in the end. And, you know, at the end of the day, we've spoken about this. Tournaments like this are an opportunity to prove yourselves, to show what you are made of, to show who you are. That young man, although he will be heading home right now, he did indeed individually play very well.
Yeah, I mean, he's done all he can, mate. He's played some individual plays which have kept his team alive in those 2 games. Just to have a little look at the series overview, it's done in 2 for Triple SM, mate. Cleanly win Matt Stronghold's 250 to 156, 50 to 44 in the Slayer. Bit of a closer affair. I think the story of that series was all to do with how Triple SM started and how effectively Team Tilt didn't start in both those 2 series.
Yeah.
Before we even knew it, Triple SM had such a high lead that they were always on the back foot for Team Tilt. One person I wanted to mention actually was Sam Baldy. He went 11 kills, 9 deaths, 16 assists. Effectively, he's the anchor on that team. He's the one who's probably sitting back. He's probably getting all the shots down to different players across the map as well. And they win the game. They get it done. It was a bit of a shaky one towards the end, but it always looked like control was on the side of Triple SM. Right now, Enigma, we're moving through to losers round 7. This is only 2 wins away from that HCS Pro Series. We've got the Triple SM squad. They're moving through again. We're going to stay on board with them. And they're going to be coming up against a team which you're all too familiar with in Team Twisted. Talk me through that team.
Yeah, so Team Twisted, let me just very quickly make sure I've got all of them right. It is indeed PT, Detain, Nolson, and Disarray. And any of you that have ever watched competitive Call of Duty in Europe will know those names. 4 very, very good individuals. And to be honest, I'm not surprised at all that they've come over to Halo and are picking things up. And this was the team that when I was doing all my notes, preparing for this, I really wanted to see. So I'm so glad that we've got them on screen. You got to remember that the coming over from Call of Duty to Halo is difficult. There's so many differences. Their finishing position so far, top 24, top 16, top 12. So constant improvement throughout this. Then they win the Europa kickoff yesterday, the 2022 kickoff, beating Kitty Crew in the final. Kitty Crew, who had made it through to the Pro Series last time out. So constant improvements, constantly moving themselves up that skill ceiling that any one of us who's watched Call of Duty in Europe know they have. So I'm very excited to see how they do. That being said, it still needs doing. They still need to make that final jump over the hurdle and get themselves into the Pro Series.
Yeah, winning that Europa Halo Kickoff Cup yesterday, I got a chance to cast this Team Twisted squad. These guys aren't any EU COD players coming across. These guys are some of the best Call of Duty players making their step into Halo as well. It's good to see it. It's nice to always have the fresh EU faces, especially from other esports coming across as well. They're coming through from the losers bracket. They did lose out pretty surprisingly here, just to a team Melting Pot. They're a bit of a HCS Pro Series team as well. They've definitely placed high in some tournaments. Valkyrie, Kawhi, Namains, and Nissi Teo. I'm probably pronounce at least a few of those names wrong. So, anyway,
your guess is as good as mine, bro.
They've gone up against global position. They do drop down Team Twisted. They are 2 wins away. Triple SM are now the team which is going to be coming up against them, trying to fight for that spot to get close towards that HCS Pro Series. That's immediately what Team Twisted want, I think. They're probably coming into this tournament. I understand that Halo's new to them. They have been playing it for quite, a couple of months now. They've won tournaments. So they definitely understand their ability. They want to be at the top level, like they were in Call of Duty. PT, as you said, has won cups just in his last year. On the Call of Duty side. So he's one of the top tier players. All of these guys have been pro or close to pro on their respective game, making their way across to Halo as well. But before we get into that game, there's something exciting again, which we need to mention, and it's going to be that Series X giveaway. That Halo Infinite Series X giveaway. Not just any Xbox Series X. We're talking pure, pristine, probably crafted by the same people who made Master Chief's armor as well. It looks a beautiful system for sure. How are you going to get that one? There's many ways you can do. First of all, you need to go towards that pinned tweet at Europa Halo. That's at Europa Halo on Twitter. Go towards there, like, follow, retweet. And there's a link there which will take you towards the Discord and towards the channel, the Twitch channel that is. Subscribe to that channel for more entries. That gives you 10 entries for this Series X giveaway. You can also redeem your channel points there as well for extra entries. There's so many different ways you get these entries. I am so jealous whoever gets this Xbox Series X as well. You know, if you want to bump that extra bit of gameplay towards competing in Halo Infinite, you know, you get. I think it's about a 5% increase in your Halo ability, Enigma, just by playing on the Xbox Series X Halo Infinite version. That's what we got. That's another brilliant thing. So that again is going towards the Twitter pin tweet at Europa Halo. Go follow the descriptions there. Like, follow, retweet. Go towards the Twitch channel for those extra entries as well. And hopefully you might get your hands on that Xbox Series X. Now, we're going to be jumping to a quick break in just a moment. We've had some quality games. I think that every single game we've casted so far, it has been a back and forth swing. We're now deep into the bracket, 2 wins away. Team Twisted versus Triple SM is next up. The winner of that will be 1 win away from the HCS Pro Series. So stay tuned and we'll see you after this break. Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the EU HCS Open Series. For those you join, I'm Joe Sketch, joined here by Enigma. And so far, Enigma, we are now in the crunch time. We've only got a few teams left, all vying for those slots in the Pro Series coming on the 12th of January during the week time. Top 8 from this tournament go through. From a winners bracket, we've already seen some sides go through, but we've been following Triple SM right now, and they're coming up against Team Twisted. Winner of this game has 1 more round to go, a best of 5 after this one to lock in that Pro Series. We talk about these teams. Let's just go over these players right now. Triple SM, you've got Sam Baldy, you've got Styled, you have got some former Call of Duty players, Millsy as well. These guys are players which have come across from Call of Duty, or maybe new to Halo Infinite at all. They're coming up against some of the best Call of Duty players making their switch across. Team Twisted. Talk me through that roster, Enigma. You know more than me about them. Let's get some facts.
Yeah, so, we went through it before. Disarray, Nolson, Detain, and PT, and, you know, these names are big names in European Call of Duty. They, you look at PT, for example. He won cups last year in the challenges in Call of Duty, so definitely still got plenty in the tank. These boys aren't coming over here for a retirement. These boys are coming over here to prove that they've got what it takes to go to the top of European Call of Duty. European Halo. Their results have been getting better and better every week. They won the Kickoff 2022 Cup yesterday with Europa Halo, beating Kitty Crew, one of the teams that made the Pro Series first time out. So they are improving. I do expect to see boys like this continue to improve and get better and better. It's just a matter of when, not if. And this is a perfect opportunity. They're into the deeper stages again. They will come up against Triple SM, a Triple SM side that we just watched play and did very well. They were very disciplined, very good at starting off strong and seeing out those advantages over the rest of the game. So Team Twisted are going to have to come out and respect them and come out and, see them off, because we are in a best of 3 and we know that one map is absolutely huge here. You can't get off to a slow start and let yourself get run over.
Yep, absolutely. Those maps, just to before we load into the game, are going to be Recharge, Oddball, Live Fire Slayer, and Street Stronghold. We're starting on board with Recharge, Oddball to get things kicked off. And as you just mentioned, they're best of 3. So each one of these maps almost counts as double, counts as a one extra foothold towards getting closer to that EU Pro Series. That's what everybody wants at the end of the day. Everybody in these cups is gunning for those spots. These guys have made it all the way through late into the tournament now. Team Twisted, we're going to be red team, Triple SM, your blue team. A lot of Call of Duty players in this lobby, as we've touched on before. Transition across the Halo to see the differences, to see the styles. I want to get into this one. I'm absolutely hyped to see these guys go head-to-head, lock horns just before the start of this one here. And it's just going to be, I think, the round-based Oddball just adds an extra element right now, where even if you're on top, you've got to do it almost twice. You might win the first Oddball very comfortably, but you got to go back and try and get those setups once more for the next round as well. Best of 3 effectively in rounds, wins you the game, and then gets you that one step closer to the EU Pro Series.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that with a lot of maps, we can sit and say this, but in particular with Recharge, I really feel like the team that controls those power items will be, coming out on top of this. You've got the camo sword combo and so on. I believe that we have unfortunately ended up with a broken lobby, so we'll be resetting it. But yeah, going back to my point, I really do feel like the teams that control your camo sword combo and utilize that very effectively, they're just going to be pretty much untouchable if you let one of these players grab a hold of that and set themselves up around the ball as well. It's truly open to a lot of different tactics. I mean, what about you? We've obviously played a lot of this game since it's come out. What do you tend to go for straight off the rip when it comes to your recharge oddball?
What if I'm going for power weapons? I'm more always of quite a team player. I'll be focusing towards the oddball for sure. But if you're looking at team setups, right, you're looking towards that elevator, the A side in strongholds. Yeah. That's where you want to really be holding, because you can get someone who might go that top catwalk, that top A. They can watch long haul to all the way towards Hydro as well. They've got a lot of map coverage effectively, and if you're gonna have to break an A setup, you've got to either go through Hydro up the control way, or you go through Turbine. Both of those are a lot of open areas, a lot of tricky areas where you can get a lot of gun sights as well. I mean, realistically, I wouldn't listen to anything I say when I'm playing, because I'm not these players in these competitions. I will probably be running and dying straight away off the map. So that's unfortunate. Unfortunately, how most of my games go when I load up into any game, let alone oddball recharge. Yeah, we're looking for setups. We're looking for map control. But let's just talk quickly overall about, after this one, these teams. I mean, they should be looking at the teams they're playing right in front of them. But there's also that extra set. They're going to be one step, one win away from the EU Pro Series. They've got to get through this team here, and then they'll have one more team loading up, and then they're there. They're in the top 8. So everything now, it comes down to those teams who can handle the pressure. We talked about some of these players on Team Twisted being veterans, being here many, many times before, late into competition play. These guys must have been playing for about 7 hours or so now. Some people might be a bit fatigued, but we're going to be jumping in to see who's going to be starting off well, who's going to get the initial holds on Oddball Recharge as we get on towards this game right now.
Yeah, and I really want to see what goes on at the break here. Do we see... So we are going to see both teams essentially duel it out over towards that tower, try and get off some initial shots. But who's contesting the camo? It will be PT and Sam Baldy, who just looking around here. And Detain actually, and then mission straight off the bat, SSSM are going to come in, get 3 kills, and look to rotate that ball away. That's all 4 down and dead for Team Twisted. So SSSM here coming out. We spoke about how their starts have been really strong so far, and then they tend to see it out for the rest. Camo's in hand. He's going to use it to go and pick up the shock rifle, and that ball will be rotated in towards these back pipes, I feel. And it's not a headshot that he wanted, but... oh, goodness me, that looked very nice and tasty for a second, but the kill doesn't come in. And this is where SSSM have got to step it up a little bit, because you are now against players that will indeed be very happy to take gunfights. And I wonder, just throughout this, if we start to see, you spoke about the elevator setup, there's also pipes. If you're one of those teams that is struggling to hold the ball defensively, do you start to maybe take it over towards the water side, over near the sword, and just chuck it off the map every now and again instead?
Yeah, it's definitely a strategy which can work. We've seen it work the Kickoff Cup yesterday, where a lot of teams favoured that Hydro side of the map as well. Just because you can drop the ball off the map, if you're under pressure, you can make sure that it gets reset. And a game like Recharge Oddball, that reset Oddball is very difficult to get. It's out in the open, it's out in the middle of a map. It's not going to be a clean grab like you might have in the tunnels of live fire. So far, the teams are favouring the pipe setup. We've got Disarray just coming there through. He's low shields, gets the kill, helps out his teammate. And they've got the control on pipes. They've got the oddball once again for side of Team Twisted. They are down in this game, and SSSM must have got worked on their start strats, because so far, each time we have seen them at the start of the game, they've always came out on top no matter what the opposition we play against them. MVPT right now is trying to play almost like a protector, or maybe a rally. It's a bit of a baton pass right there of the oddball. PT's going to get out and dodge towards pipes. He's going to rotate it towards this Hydro side. As we said, it can be a place that if you're tricky to hold these setups, you make your way towards. But he can't get there on time because there's going to be players already blocking there. Sam Baldy, Takana already across that side of the map, making sure that their presence is known. Takana gets taken down. Sam Baldy left alone with 2 players, Disarray and PT, hunting him down. Can he manage to get away with his life? They play in his defense here, but he doesn't in the end. He gets cleaned up by Disarray. So PT, He had that ball. He did decide to throw it out into the middle of the map, but off the back of that, got a couple of slays, got a couple of assists, and made sure that his teammates won control of Hydro.
Yeah, doing a great job just playing his life, and honestly, just at the minute being a nuisance to SSSM, uses the sword perfectly, will fall, so he does give that up. Disarray here, probably looking to just send the ball for a swim. He's waiting on it, and off it goes. But the fantastic play there out of Pete. He's just continued to be a nuisance to SSSM, buy his teammates time, and just like that, goodness me, what a snipe out of style. Hits it with the shock rifle. Happy to take on the second as well. He's unlucky in the end, and PE will clean that up. It's trades back and forth, and SSSM here, although point-wise they are low, they are behind currently, they're doing a great job of just not giving up important places on the map. They're more than happy to sit and trade and take the gunfights. But that being said, right now, it's looking good for Team Twisters. They get a couple of kills in their favor and begin to rotate the ball out again.
Yeah, that sword's just right in the hands of Nolson. Gets the cleanup on the start. It would have been embarrassing if he missed that one and got a double melee back down. He's holding out now for bottom elevator side, trying to get his teammates to rotate with his oddball back round, but instead they're holding out the pipes. Millsy man winning the front line here for SSSM as he's trying to push in and retake that oddball. But he's got the defense side of MVP there. Takes him down nice and clean. His sword still in the hand of Disarray though. So nice play from him, rotating around after Nolson instead to pick that sword up, and he's utilising it. Wow. Disarray right now just trying to play his life. He knows he's got no teammate help around him. Gets him clean shots under style. Nice shots. That ball gets reset almost, or gets picked up back again by Disarray. But I like what he's doing here, Enigma. He's not just holding the ball and trying to run towards his teammate. He holds it, gets a second, drops it, makes sure that his gun is also on the map. His gun is hot to try and shoot down some players from SSSM, and slowly moves up ball towards this elevator setup now. They've got 3 players over this side. Can they hold it? So far, yes, Disarray gets a shot on the first one. He gets a sword out, but he can't seem to get the kill. Doesn't need to. D10 gets him down. Start of the last one live in a fight with D10, 1 versus 1. The sword comes out, but D10 should be a nice kill. Nice kill there from D10. Good hold from Team Twisted, but he's the last one up, so it's all up to him to get some oddball time.
It is a little bit of extra quality coming through there. You just see like it just able to come out of that scenario on top was phenomenal, because it looked like they basically ran out of steam for a second, and Detain here just backing off aware of where people are arriving from. Teammates will unfortunately fall, so this is an opportunity now for SSSM. But do they move it again towards Pipes, or do they keep it at Elevator? Because Pipes was their initial choice. It looks like they're going to keep it for now where Team Twisted initially moved it to. And with that in mind, and the Mangler in hand as well, there's opportunity here to lock this down. The thing is, you don't want to get pushed too deep here. You need teammates to also be covering parts of the entry routes. Otherwise, it becomes an absolute nightmare. But the double Mangler from Sam Baldy will open this up a bit and allow breathing time and room. And can people arrive to help, or is this just going to continue to be a bloodbath elsewhere and off our screens?
Yeah, the Sam Baldy show here in elevator at the moment. Getting most double kill there with the Mangler, getting the melees on the back of 2 players from Team Twisted. What it allows at the moment, SSSM, each time they get a slay, Team Twisted are spawning out on the other side of the map. They have to make their way across. And it should have been a trickier fight, but that was a nice set of kills there from Team Twisted. They retake control. They only have 20 seconds left before they win this round. Shock rifle in the hands of Disarray. He can't connect that first shot. Looks for Sam Baldy. Doesn't knock him down, but it draws Sam Baldy back, so he can't decide to push just of yet. Still holding this makeshift B setup. Just finally get the kill onto Sam Baldy. That's a nice perfect, and that's a nice reversal as well. And whilst he's doing that, his teammates are rotating the ball towards this Hydra side, but they've all fallen. It's only left to Disarray right now to try and get some shock rifle shots. Misses that first one, reveals his location, gets naded. It's all going wrong right now for Disarray. Can he get any sort of kill going this way? But at least he falls the throwing of the oddball in the end, so that's going to be reset towards this middle side of the map.
Yeah, no, he does. I mean, a lot of missed opportunities to get kills, but still manages to put enough pressure in that forces the play ball, and will see a reset here. And they're just 8 points away. But the thing is, for Team Twisted, they can just buy time here. We're into our final 60 seconds. PT will get a kill down in Pipes, and as he continues to push and get aggressive here, you can play for those extra 8 if you want, but it's so much for SSSM to get back into this. And with more bodies down, ball in hand, that looks like that should be about it for round 1. It's just a case of how long do they eke this out for? PT, goodness me.
Oh, PT at the end, heating off. Look at those stats in your top left, 18 for 10 after that first round. Team Twisted get it done. They decide not to opt for the time to run out, get those last 8 seconds, win the round outright. But this is what we said before about Oddball. It's a round-based game. It's now all reset. The map is back at level playing field. Who can start off better signs? We're looking forward towards PT. He's picked up this camo. Looks towards getting some shots. Wakana should be a clean kill. Gets that boxer medal, gets a melee meat down towards this player, but the Oddball still has not moved at all. So PT still a bit of camo left. He's going to try and make his way towards this Oddball side of the map, try and pick up some players who are looking to get some shots down themselves. Millsy made to one shot. PT still utilizes his camo, just basically locking down this middle side of the map, not allowing SSSM to get any touch on this Oddball right now.
Yeah, using the camo well, just constantly being a nuisance. Essentially, he's don't actually. Yeah, I was going to say for a second there, I don't think they were aware that PT was even in behind. They'll know now, obviously, as that grenade catches him in the face. But an interesting change up here. I think that the PT's gone towards this backside, aware of how SSSM pushed it towards the pipes last time out. Didn't want to give it them again. And I tell you what, PT's just continuing this round, sorry, the way he finished the last one, hitting heads, just cleaning things up, and that's just going to allow the rest of his teammates to swarm. He will fall, but the teammates will arrive, I think. Yeah, okay, that one comes through. Whew.
Yeah, Disarray managed to clean up that kill in the end there. Get some more shots down towards these players, pushing towards his Oddball. It's in a bit of a tricky spot at the moment down in the yard area of the map, but look at that little grapple crab towards that Oddball. That's a nice little play. Doesn't mean that he has to risk himself by getting anywhere near towards that Oddball down the yard and being exposed himself. He's going to go towards this Hydra side. His teammates are already set up on this side of the map. Camo is up soon. I'm not too sure if anybody on Team Twist is in position. You can see all their player names, game tags above, almost like hovering around that camo side, waiting for that to spawn. Disarray has the nice and easy job right now. He's going to stand there, milk a couple of seconds, and then that Oddball will fall off a map and get reset towards the middle.
It will. And you can tell that they're happy to play that as well. The PT is already rotated over here, shock rifle in hand, aware of what his teammates are going to want to do. Oh, can he clean this up? This is getting a bit messy, though. And he's trapped between a rock and a hard place. Just get out of there, keep the shock rifle in hand, and honestly continue to just have presence over this side of the map. Again, SSSM, the start of that round one, really wanted the ball over at pipe side, so you don't want to give that up to them if this is the preferred location on the map. You want to continue to deny them it and force them to adjust on the fly. Will Millsy re-challenge? He's taking his time about it. PT wants to hit it and will indeed clean that kill up as well. So the thing is, they don't really have they might have a lot of essentially presence and kills from all this, but no time yet, and it is a close game. Goodness me.
Oh, PT has been heating up this whole game right now. He's got 18 kills up first game, 7 kills already in this second one as well. He's doing it all for his team. Around him, he didn't manage to get any time with the Oddball, but every single time that the Oddball isn't being picked up, it's seconds ticking down. Although it's a small lead of 6, it's still a lead, so it still favours Team Twisted right now. PT, once again, on our screens. This man's been glued to our screens right now because he's making all the plays the side of Team Twisted. Sees Sambody down that bottom middle shot. Gets some shots down, decides to back down. Gets a good play because he's getting shot across by Styled. If I was PT, I'm re-challenging because I've got the confidence. Instead, does the sensible thing of playing his life. But he's playing a position right now where he is forcing the players like Styled of SSSM to push towards Knowlton to get this ball in such an awkward position. We now see some ball control for Sakana and the SSSM boys. Let's see if they rotate it towards Elevator. I think that's going to be where they prefer to go. But instead, Millsy Man, away from his team, gets taken out. So SSSM had 3 players up, but no one near the Oddball right there. So I'm not too sure what happened. Millsy Man, maybe a bit of miscommunication, went towards Pipes. His team went towards Elevator. And now almost Team Twisted have a free ball.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking. You see that SSSM there, they looked in a really good position, because I was going to make a comment a minute ago. It was great that Team Twisted were burning through time whilst they're in the lead, but it was only a slender lead and not really one that you wanted to be relying on time for. However, whatever happens there, I'm going to assume miscommunication. I think you're right. It gives everything up for SSSM and what they possibly had going. Team Twisted will hold on to it. They're picking themselves up a 35-point lead, and although they're likely to lose the ball here, they just, because it's so out in the open, this is going to make it messy and detain with the perfect grenade, baiting out that Oddball and just playing Styled essentially like a kipper.
Yeah, if you look at the positions there, right there, Nolson and Detain almost was set up for a perfect pinch. It didn't quite work as Sakana got the 1 versus 1. Does take down Disarray as well. So nice hold, I guess, from Triple SM. Because that oddball was out in the open, they couldn't bring it towards their pipes. They couldn't get the ball into a position where they could get some points. So off the back of those nice defense, no oddball time was picked up from Triple SM. Now they've finally got into pipes. They've got to contest with one of the players here from the side Team Twisted. It's Nolson. He slips, he slides, he strafes and gets the shot. Gets the oddball as well. Brings it back towards pipes, and they have a better setup. Detain and Disarray getting kills across the map. You've got PT and Nolson in the pipe side, and you can see the rotation coming through. You can see Disarray already holding that elevator side of the map. Through Turbo, Nolson goes to relink with his teammate, and that rotation, it keeps Triple SM on their toes as well, because now they've started to push towards pipes, and they see Nolson forever just moving slowly and slowly away from them. They're going to react once more. We've got Nolson on our screens. He whiffs a punch. Millsy gets a cleanup, and it's now a revolt reverse. Still got Detain. He's going to say, see you later, Detain. Repulse you across the map almost there in order to defend himself. But it's almost Millsy left alone by himself this whole time. Takana comes through. Detain picks up 2. Might have been a bit team-led. Can it be a triple kill? Star backs down. All of that favours Team Twisted in the end. Detain once again picking up ball. He's going to count down some more seconds. They only need 15 now before they win.
Yeah, and it's kind of heartbreaking for Millsy there. Nearly makes the fantastic individual play, but you can see the difference there a little bit in the thought process and how one team's slightly ahead of the other. As soon as Triple SM were looking like they were going to take that ball, Team Twisted were aware of where they want it to be. Nolson gets in around the back of pipes. As soon as Team Twisted get a hold of it, Triple SM are just not recognizing, okay, these boys like to move it over towards elevator. Let's get there early, and instead kind of waiting for that rotation to come on through. And Team Twisted will come out on top. The scoreline's looking pretty strong there. And although Triple SM put up a decent game, I would say that it felt like Team Twisted were never really out of control then. PT, 30 and 16. What a fantastic individual performance from him.
Yeah, I mean, we touched upon it in the first round as well when he knocked down 18 kills. That second round was just as good, but look at the damage. That's what I was going to try and get towards. 8,200 damage dealt. If you're Peter, you've been happy with that performance. Detain mode nearly as close behind him. He only had 3 kills less for 27, 1.1k damage less as well. Overall, when you've got PT, when you've got Detain, and they're going off, they're winning these 2v1 fights, which they shouldn't be affording to win. That's where you can just, as an objective player, you can just sort of sit back. We saw Disarray for a bit there. He was just holding the oddball in Hydro, and no one was pressuring him because no one could get near him in that one. Let's have a look at our series layout. This is a best of 3. Team Twisted 1-0 up. We go onto that Slayer on live fire. This is a game mode we've already seen before, Enigma as well, and sometimes it favours that more hectic gameplay. We saw earlier in the competitions that the teams which might have gone down in the objective, they come back in the Slayer. If you're a Triple SM, you want that to happen right now. They have the ability, like you can see individual plays. But I think also, from the side of Team Twisted, they had the Slays, they had PT and Detain absolutely pop off. They almost need to shut down 2 players on one side. It's hard enough shutting down 1 player, but they've got half a team right now who are on absolute fire.
Yeah, I think because of how good the series have been that we've had so far, I'm really hoping that Triple SM have a massive game here. But this is scary because they were outslayed considerably in that one. And the one thing that you're hoping to do as a slaying team is have fantastic objective play, and we saw the miscommunication around the oddball and so on, which was unfortunate. But we also know that live fire is this really open, dynamic map, and Team Twisted seemed very comfortable as well when it came to those periods of time where it's adjust and think on the fly and try and think ahead. The Triple SM struggled a little bit, so this is the tough one. What I will say though is if Triple SM lose this, they go home, of course. So put everything out there. Anything that's left in the basket, you've been playing all day, bring it to this map and see what you can do, because otherwise you're so close, but yet so far. For Team Twisted, they will obviously then progress on to our final game in the losers bracket for qualification.
Yeah, Triple SM, that's what we're going to be thinking right now. Again, because of being a best of 3, they only need to win 2 games. I know, obviously, if they lose one more, they are out. But you've got everything to play for. You just have to play put everything, all the little cards you got up your sleeves, every single little strategy you've been working on, you've been chatting, even between these games right now, where you've got a couple of minutes just to sort of reset and think about the next game ahead. You don't want to be resting what happened in the odd ball. You don't want to be accusing your teammate of rotating it poorly or whatever. You want to be going straight onto live fire, get talk, say, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to jump on board right now into this second game of this series. Could potentially be the last game of Team Twisted win this. SSSM need to tie this one up to make it to go to the best of 3. PT grabs that sniper rifle. We're on board with Sakana right now as he's just getting shots on, just a little shots on a few players around the map, but his teammates are falling around him right now. So he's got to play a bit more sneaky. Going to try and regroup maybe with his spawning teammates, but all the power control, all the power weapons are on the side of Team Twisted right now.
Oh.
Ooh.
I don't know. I heard your noise. I don't know. But he picks up 2, possibly the team nade that comes on through, but it gets the overshield and away they go. And if you wanted to get off to a good start, SSSM, that's not the way to go about it. Disarray's apparently just having a whole party over there. Picks up 2, invites Nolson a little bit too late, and he gets there in time anyway. And this is 10-0 start. Yes, you're reading that correctly. This has been incredibly one-sided so far. As Team Twisted just look to get this over and done with at this point. SSSM have got to figure out how to slow this down and get themselves back into this game.
Yeah, there's a famous Halo quote, which is, the game started, and SSSM have yet to turn up to this one so far. It has been everything which could go wrong for SSSM has gone wrong at the start of this game. They do get a couple of kills now. They've stopped it from being on the goose. They do manage to get a few slays together. And do you know what? I mean, it's not an ideal start. It's going to be all momentum on the side of Team Twisted. We saw PT off our screens get some sniper kills there. I'm not too sure if he was popping off with that or not, but you're slowly starting to get some slays now. You're slowly starting to get some composure in this game with SSSM. You've got a mountain to climb, and it's definitely a mountain, especially against the standard of Team Twisted. But they have managed to chain some kills together. They're no longer around 12 kills down. They're now only 6.
Yeah, good use of the repulsor there. Thinking on his feet is Millsy as he sends that grenade back to sender. And again, he's happy to continue to play with this and juggle the grenades back and forth. And PT's going to be weak here. And there's another cleanup kill. And all of a sudden, SSSM, I was talking a minute ago, oh okay, you need to figure a way back into the game. They're only 3 down and then do indeed begin to make a contest of this. I'm not sure whether Team Twisted taking the foot off the gas, but SSSM regrouped, rallied, and pulled themselves all the way back in. We have a game on our hands here, and Millsy very happy to continue to pop heads.
Yeah, it started off 12-0 to Team Twisted in this game, so it's effectively now 15-4 in favour of SSSM after that initial first slay they got on the map. Millsy a bit apprehensive here, trying to fight 3 players on Team Twisted. I mean, he's had a good game so far, but not that good to be able to take a 3 versus 1. Sakana's going to try his luck as well. You saw SSSM get back into this game, but I think they've been a bit too aggressive since then as well. They've now dropped 4 kills back behind towards Team Twisted, because Team Twisted, they stayed composed. They stayed level-headed. They made sure that even though they were losing a lot of deaths, they didn't just start to rush out by themselves. Nice nade from Sam Boldy, banking that one off a nest there. That's a good double kill earlier. We saw that Nolson kill where I think a teammate shot a nade, so nade's playing a big part in this one so far. This game is still up for grabs. You said you wanted a hotly contested one. You said our series so far have been that way, and so far SSSM have made it that way once again.
Oh yeah, and all props to it as well, because if you start off 12-0, you've essentially looking like you're on your way out of the tournament. There's a lot of questions being asked internally. Nolson's just going to rip the face off Sakana. You can't hear it, but our producer's halfway out of his seat right now. And that's just a beautiful shot. More than happy to just control the backside of this map. And one thing I will say, Team Twisted, they're still in the lead here, but SSSM showing, okay, look, we get it, you're good at the game, but we're going to make this an absolute duel and take you as far as we can possibly go. And Nolson here looking for just another one. Can he do something with it? It is back out to a 6 lead, and this is the problem now for SSSM. They had that huge momentum push. They did a lot with it, but because of the slow start, it was just asking way too much to continue that. And now as we settle into essentially a game where it's all about momentum and opening up the other side, I still struggle to see past how Team Twisted can regularly lose gunfights when we know the individual ability they have.
Yeah, I don't know if we mentioned about maybe taking the foot off the gas and before spiraled back to a closer game. But Team Twisted, what they've done to get a 6-kill lead right now is they slow played it. They had Sniper. They had a nice setup they wanted to have. They didn't want to just start going aggressive. They didn't want to start opening the map up, which was where SSSM managed to get back into it to start off with. They decided to play their own game. They decided to play it slower, play controlled Halo, and that's what's made them have the lead again once more. We've got a heatwave now on side of Sakana. He does work with his teammates to get that kill there, get some shots down towards MVP. He decides to play his life. A nice play with Sakana, try and retake that and re-challenge that gunfight from another position. Instead, he's just working around these tunnels right now. Millsy there getting another slay, so it's still a close game. Still only 4 kills in. If that's only 1 clean wipe of slays, he comes through with his heatwave, gets his shots down. The Guardian Angel Millsy here, nice decision to back down once again for Sakana. He's really played his life quite well. Just showed to get this cleanup onto the player there, Array. And all what we've seen so far is Sakana's reacting to what his teammates must be calling out, because he's turning around, he's switching all over the place, and making sure that whenever his teammates go down, he cleaned up the kill during that lifespan.
He did, and done a great job. But every time it feels like SSSM are seemingly getting themselves back within touching distance, Team Twisted just open it up a little bit again and put the foot on the throat of the opposing side. And you can see here Nolson just taking his time, waiting for call-outs, listening to the situation around him. He should clean that up, okay, for a second there. And just got to control the overshield for a second. But actually, if he goes down here, that will open up the overshield for SSSM. It will be pulled. No, it won't. There we go. Sam Baldy gets it the second time of asking. He grabs it, and he should be away. Now, can he do something with this? Gets the first. Will he get the second, or his teammate at least arrive to clean that up? I can't tell fully. It's Nolson who's just trying to play his life here and be as much of a nuisance as he can. Let his teammates arrive. Nolson manages to get one. Does very well out of that scenario, but the overshield now burnt. Sam Baldy's done very well, and this is back to within 1 point. For those of you who are just tuning in, we are essentially at an even game after a 12-0 start for Team Twisted.
That was a sexy, sexy triple kill there from Sam Baldy. And I'm flabbergasted right now. We've had a 12-0 lead go back to just a 1-point game towards the tail end of this Slayer. We talked about Slayer potentially being the game changer, the swinging of momentum. SSSM have not disappointed after that initial start. It could have been over by now. It could have been over a long time ago if they continued the way. At one point, we were worrying who's going to get the first kill, let alone now, with only 1 slay each way, and that's going to be the tie-up of the game now. 11 kills of both sides. It is going to be traded out for Nolson there. So this is where, once again, Team Twisted decided to slow play it. And SSSM last time the Team Twisted slow played it, walked into their hands. They played into their hands a lot. They pushed gunfights they shouldn't have pushed. What I'm seeing right now is a lot more passive gameplay, a lot more controlled gameplay as we watch Sam Baldy right now slowly make his way up towards a heat wave. He knows exactly where Team Twisted are. He knows that overshield is coming up in 15 seconds. He doesn't have to move because Team Twisted have to make their play towards his OS. If they want to get it, they have to get past his heat wave. But instead, Millsy must have made a call out saying, do you know what? Push through. I've got them weak. Can he get the slay? Style comes through. All the slays are coming through around this OS. The Tane versus Styled in the last 1v1. It's going to be Styled coming through on top. So nice play from him. This would allow Millsy to get OS. We can jump on board with him right now. We've got a 1-kill game, but there's only 6 slays left for Team Twisted right now. We see Millsy Man work his way towards MVPC and all the rest of Team Twisted. He's going to get some shots down. He's going to push that advantage without OS. Those extra shields helping out. Gets a clean up onto those 2 players. Turns around. Doesn't get the shots onto Disarray in the end, but he made that initial push through. But there's still 1 kill down. It was traded away. Team Twisted still in the lead in this one, Enigma.
They are, but they're essentially playing a merry band at the minute. They're happy to we're just going to run away from you. We're just going to go and chase your teammates. And oh, that is a huge moment. Millsy doesn't manage to clean it up. PT will finish that. And that, a big advantage that SSSM had for just a moment there, essentially burnt through. It is 2 kills left for Team Twisted, 3 if you're SSSM. Can they clean up Detain, who's going to be weak on the far side of this map? And just so close. Honestly, there are so many individual scenarios there where SSSM can come out on top. That is unbelievably tight. Team Twisted must have been wondering what was going on. 12-0 up at the start of it, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, you boys were supposed to roll over at this point. You weren't supposed to come back. And honestly, I've got to give it to SSSM. They showed, again, that kind of discipline that they can bring to their gameplay, like we saw in the previous series against Team Tilt. It's just, there's a little bit more quality there for them to overcome. Team Twisted see it through. It was scary in the end, but it was enough. As we look on board here with some figures, and we spoke a lot about Millsy throughout that series. He really did put up some figures for his side. Unfortunately, they will be going home just one short of the qualification match. We, however, will get to see the series overview, which will come up in front of us. The recharge odd ball obviously going the way of Team Twisted 2-0. Live Fire Slayer went the way of Team Twisted as well. And Street Strongholds was the one that we didn't get to watch in the end. There's a lot of streets that we're not getting to see. My favorite map, but yeah, fantastic series. Another really good one that we've had on stream, and I can't say it enough. I feel like I'm being spoiled for my first time casting Halo.
I mean, I said it earlier after that first series we casted Enigma. I said that's just Halo for you, and I was a bit, overconfident maybe, but somehow we haven't had a dull series. We've had these even games where we thought were going to be so one-sided. They managed to. The other team managed to clutch up and bring themselves back into that one. It's heartbreak at the end of the day for SSSM. They fought so hard towards that end of the game. If they didn't go 12-0 down at the start of that game, they would have been sat with an 8-kill lead towards the end of that last one. Overall, every single one of their players, I can't really even highlight one of them, which outshone. You know, we talked about Millsy with our OS pool towards the end. He really sort of opened the gates to get those last sort of slays. They didn't fall in the favour of his team in the end, but I really like the rotation there from I think it was Disarray and Nolson. They decided, actually, do you know what? But our two teammates, PT, DT, and they're going to fall. We're going to just do the little merry-go-round. We're going to go back towards where they're spawning, make sure we're not free kills as well. If they both fell down, it would have been a different story, I think. And it forced Millsy and SSSM to over-push into the hands of the spawning Team Twisted players, which managed to get the slays back in favour of them, so that they won that game in the end. What another series of Halo we have had. We only have one more game left, and it's going to be the qualification match. We've got Team Twisted. We're going to follow them through, and they're going to be going through losers round 8. It has been a gauntlet, as you said. We're down in the Shark Tank. These two teams are going to be fighting it out for that last chance spot. Team Twisted, they weren't there last time. I don't know if they played in the Pro Series, the Open Series, to make it through. I'm not too sure, but they didn't make it regardless. And they're coming up against a team which has done. We'll have more on that after break, but just before we go, there's one more thing I need to say, Enigma. We talked about it before. We're going to talk about it again, and it's that giveaway, that Europa Halo giveaway we've seen. I mean, I could talk about an Xbox Series X every single time I get on the stream, and because they're so slick, but that Xbox Series X Halo Infinite limited edition giveaway, if you follow towards the Europa Halo Twitter page, you can go there, you can like the tweet, retweet the tweet, go towards the link and subscribe to the Twitch to get 10 more entries towards that super stylish Halo Infinite Xbox Series X. If you want to join the Discord, you can as well for those extra entries, and following that link on the Twitch allows you to use your channel points to also enter more times as well. We're going to jump to a quick break in just a moment, but Enigma, it has been an absolute quality cast so far. No game has disappointed us at all so far. We've had some quality Halo on the stream, and we've got our last game coming up just after this break, and it's a chance to qualify for that Pro Series. See you then. Hello everybody and welcome back to the HCS Open series. We were following Team Twisted through the losers bracket run, but unfortunately for their opposing side, which was Almighty, one of their players has had to drop out of the tournament due to a family problem, which I completely understand. Family always comes first, right? Everybody is really in an opportune situation to play video games and compete at the highest level, but your family is always with the first forefront, so we completely understand. Wishing all the best to the player involved and to his team, because I understand that it would be an upsetting time not to fight for their chance through into the EU Pro Series coming on Wednesday. That does mean that Team Twisted's through. So Team Twisted confirmed their place as the top 8. We've just seen them cast on the stream. Enigma, I mean, you guys, you know them more than me, and we just been talking through how well of a team that they've played. They've made it now. So they're through into the Pro Series. You touched upon it before, saying that this is a new opportunity for them. We've seen them play in some of these smaller cups, and we've seen them playing the Europa Halo Cup yesterday as well. They've won some tournaments. Now they're playing against the big boys, though, in this next cup, the Pro Series, and on the 12th of January, only a few days away. How do you think they're going to get on in that side of things?
Obviously, massive shame about the way in which it's gone down in the end. From all points of view, the boys themselves wouldn't have wanted that to be the case, and we hope that the family emergency is all minor in the end of things. But yeah, I think that they'll go through to this, and it will be a step up. It will be a big step up. But looking at the quality of the players on Team Twisted and the things that they've done in European Call of Duty, I know that they have phenomenal skill ceilings, and in order to access that skill ceiling, you have to play against the best teams, the best players, the best strategies, and so on and so forth, and really essentially get a bit of a kick in and take a couple of losses to gain the experience and so on. I do think this first Pro Series will be difficult for them. I'm very glad to see that they will make it there. I'm not, they might take out a couple of surprising results, but it will be tough. But the big thing, I think, is that this will set them up for big futures because they will take a lot of lessons from this.
Hopefully as well, if they do perform well, if they do play against one of these higher teams and give a good game of them, they might be able to lock in some scrims, might be able to lock in some future competition and better practice for them as well. I'm not too sure how they've been practicing across. I assume they've made themselves a name themselves, so this is the big stage now. But this is the qualification for the EU HCS Pro Series. There's not just one team going through, there is 8. We still have two games going on right now. They're in the closing sides. We're not too sure which of those teams are going to make it through, but the solidified teams going through right now. We've got Team Twisted, we said before. We move across to WeKnowTheSecret. We saw them on stream beforehand as well. That was a game we cast on earlier. The players who beat out SUUS, for those of you who followed, we had the likes of Vex, SUUS, who were sort of making those clutch plays, as we said, ZA as well. Those who were the standout players on the side, they've locked themselves in for the Pro Series. Tisk down in the losers bracket beat out Kitty Crew as well. Kitty Crew, one of our top 12 last time. That's Kronos, Zaldris, Talik, and Cypher. They make their way through as well. These guys are strong top AM players as well. So it is a bit of surprise that Kitty Crew fall down. You talked about it before. Enigma, these guys placed top 12. They look like a very solid squad, but they do fall that one step short. Now, this is one that you might be more familiar with. Melting Pot beat out the Call of Duty boys. That's Dave, Blackjack, Gambit, and Shurzy 2. So Dave coming across from Call of Duty as well. They don't make it. Melting Pot being Valkyrie HCS, Kawhi, Zami, Nemains, and Nistio. Again, I'll probably mispronounce those names as well. We'll just finish off with the last 3 teams as well. We've got Question Reality, Beatley, Crossman, Sandow, and Hercules. We've got Switch, Death Dancer, Chidwick, Sanro, and T-Bang, some Gears of War pros. So we've got Call of Duty pros, we've got Gears of War pros, and we've got Halo pros, all button heads in that Pro Series. And our last team so far confirmed to be qualified would be... no, the other games are still playing, so we're still not too sure. Anyway, we've had a quality time on this stream right now. Every single game has been an absolute blast to cast. Enigma, it's been quality to have you aside of me as well. I've got to do a massive shout out towards our producer, Spilly. He's been in our ears. He has been definitely shouting, definitely hyping us up, and always there helping us along the way. When we've got the admins, all the Europa Halo and Faceit admins, and the social media teams across the board, there's been so many people involved in this tournament, and every single person has put a shift in. But Enigma, this is it. The game, unfortunately, due to the circumstances, and hope everybody else involved is all good, but it hasn't been played. So this is our last sort of bit on the stream right now. It's been a pleasure.
No, it's been absolutely wonderful. My first time casting any Halo, and I really could not have asked for better series. Goodness me, we had some absolute bangers. Obviously, I was very much looking forward to that end game, but of course, the way it unfolded is the way it'll be. But a massive shout out to the team involved. Thank you for the opportunity. Those who reached out, and to yourself, thank you very much. We've done a lot of, people probably wonder what we do in our breaks. Well, I've spent a lot of time being like, is this the right thing? Is this the right thing? So yeah, a lot of learning from me today, but hopefully I'll get to come back and do it again, because this was a lot of fun. And thank you very much for everything. And you said about Spilly in our ears. you guys might be watching and halfway out of your seats. I'm telling you, he's halfway around his flat at this point because he's got as much energy as everyone. So yeah, it's been an absolute blast. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you much again, Enigma, and hopefully we can get a chance to cast once again, especially with the way the Halo games have treated us today. But that's it for now. We're going to both be signing off. We've seen it through to the end. We've seen through the gauntlet. We know who the pro team's going through. There's still some few games left. We are going to go across and we're going to be raiding the Twitch stream of Jimbo as well. This is all for us. We're going to be signing out now. It's been a pleasure, guys. See you in the next one.